What is going on, everybody? Welcome in, welcome in. It is time for the Season 2 RLM draft to get underway. Hope you guys are as excited as I am for tonight. I've been waiting all day long for this moment to finally see who's going to end up where, what kind of teams, what kind of dynasties are going to get formed here tonight, who's going to pair up with who. We got 4 divisions that's going to be kicked off, starting with the number 1 division. Man, there's some top tier guys getting ready to be called out here tonight, guys. I hope y'all are ready for this, man. As Oblivion coming in here early with a subscription. Dude, I don't really know who's going first. There's been a lot of talks. You might see Ren. We saw a late signing there with Repeat coming into the season recently with a free agency. There's a lot of big high tier players right now in Division 1, and these captains are jonesing to get after them. So I hope you guys are as excited as I am. We'll be all having a great night. This should be a pretty fantastic draft. Again, we'll be starting with Division 1, Division 2, then 3, and then we will end it with Division 4. So, if you guys are new, this is RLM. We are a draft-based Rocket League league. We currently have 4 divisions with 16 franchises this season, guys. 16. So shout out you guys. Thank y'all so much for just coming in here and supporting RLM. A lot of you guys have been here since Season 1. I can't believe we're already in Season 2. I'm hoping that this season is even better than Season 1. And so far, it has just grown and it's just exploded. A lot of new faces, a lot of OGs. And I'm just looking forward to see you new guys out here, man. I'm looking forward to call out some new names that I have not had the privilege to see yet. So I'm just really looking forward to it. I will not keep you guys I won't hold you guys for too long. There's been a lot of people anxious, ready to see who's gonna go 1. First up, if you haven't been paying attention, if you don't know, the Venus Vigilantes have the number 1 overall pick coming out from that lottery draft on Thursday. If you guys missed it, I'm disappointed. But the number 1 overall pick is going to come out from the Vigilantes, headed by the man, the GOAT himself, 10-piece Nuggy. I mean, listen, man, you're blessed if you get to play on Nuggy's team. And Nuggy was stoked to get that number 1 pick. And now I see why. If you guys don't know the name, he's a legend. Ren coming off the board, number 1 overall in Division 1. Huge shout out to Ren there. I mean, it is definitely more than deserved. The guy absolutely balled out last year in the Miami Skyline. That's no longer a franchise this season, but they did play extremely well. It had a lot to do with Ren and his ability to just carry that team and just be the rock. I mean, one of the best clips we have on this channel comes from this guy and what he is able to do. 10-piece is the reigning champion right now in the league. So, I mean, he is a champion. He is now pairing who he thinks is going to help him go back-to-back this season. I trust 10-piece's decisions, and Ren is just a great guy to do it with. Now, the second pick is going to go to the Lafayette Lightning. Lightning headed up by the man himself, Juicy Deucey. If y'all don't know Juicy Deucey, you've been sleeping under a rock. The dude's an absolute stud. He's been a fantastic franchise owner consistently all season long in the running for Franchise Owner of the Year, right up there with the dog, D Brown himself. Lafayette Lightning are going in a different direction this season. Last year, they had Landon as the leader, the face of that franchise. Now you're seeing a little shakeup. This season, we're seeing a new name, a new face. Heard a lot of great things about this guy. One of the top players in the league, Dizzy, going number 2 overall in the draft. Congratulations to Dizzy, and congratulations to the Lafayette Lightning landing such a stud of a player. This guy has been an absolute beast. Since joining the league, it's just been all talks about where Dizzy's going to go, where players like Ren going to go. And it's interesting to see Lafayette go top heavy here right out of the gates. It was interesting to see if you were going to go and get your mid-tier player in Division 1 first, because there's a lot more good mid-tier players, or a lot more top-tier players this season than what we've ever had. So, interesting decision, and we'll see if it comes back and works out for him. Now, the 3rd overall pick is a brand new franchise making their debut here in Season 2, the Tokyo Drifters, led by my guy Joy. Very excited to see this man as a franchise owner this season. Hopefully, he has a lot of success here. He's starting things off right. He's picking up Ken Kenny is going top 3 in the draft. I mean, there was rumors that was going to happen. I didn't think they were going to actually go this direction, but they're deciding to keep it, tight knit, bringing in a very familiar face that Joy is very comfortable with. You see the W's in the chat coming from the FO himself. He's excited. You sometimes you got to take those lower price players early if you feel like they're going to go. So Ken is one of those guys who we know he can compete in Div 1. We know he has the skill to keep up. So it's just a great job snagging up that guy here early. They're obviously rocking for that chemistry route, right? I mean, they may not go too heavy on salary cap, as long as they feel like they got the guys together that know how to play with each other. And that's a great strategy to have as long as you're having fun. Now, next up is the Paris City Swarm, led by Dylan, the new FO for the new franchise. Beyond excited to see what that man is going to do. But hey, he already made some huge moves, picking up, without a doubt, the best player in the league. Shocks, man, my MVP. The dude's an absolute beast. Still the reigning top player in the league, without a doubt. And he is the captain for this new Paris City Swarm, and he is starting things off with a bang. He picked up a top 5 pick. He's going to be able to play with almost whoever he wants. This is a face I have not had a chance to see play, but as obviously Shocks has spoken very highly of this guy, and Dylan obviously just giving everything to Shocks, just trusting him to make the right decisions. You're going to see Heps Kid go in there, 4th overall. Heps Kid, 4th overall. That's a top tier player, man. Heading out to the Paris City Swarm, playing for the Queen Bee himself, Dylan, and he's got Shocks as an absolute unit of a leader. You gotta love that decision there. Shout out Heps Kid. You are playing with the best player in our great league right now, so you gotta love to see that, man. Shout out the Paris City Swarm. Alrighty, here now to round out the top 5, which is just an honor to be a top 5 player here in RLM. The Nagasaki Ronin, led by Knuckles, a new FO as well, brand new franchise, getting ready to make some things happen. And how could you start out any better than picking arguably the guy who's going to be making a run for Shock's top tier spot, and that's Mans are flying. Let me tell you something, when this guy actually signed up, I was in awe. I was like, there's no way he's actually gonna have time to play, but Mans are flying, gracing us with his presence, has now become a top 5 pick, highest price you could possibly be in the league at 360. Listen, we built our Div 1 cap space to make it to where you should not have too much problems building your Div 1 team with these top tier players. This is not a brand new league, but we want to make it to where you can have some flexibility to play. And speaking of top tier guys, how about top tier franchises? The 6th pick is coming up. It's the Boston Braves, led by the man, our reigning franchise owner of the year, D Brown. D Brown bringing in a familiar face, one of the best players we had last season in terms of just being a great hand. Unto Jupiter just went through all 3 divs, was coaching up that Boston Braves unit, and let me tell you something, with his coaching, he made every single division on that franchise successful. They all made the playoffs, they all did well, and now Unto gets a chance to build. He gets a chance to build a great team around himself, and just like that, he's taken. We spoke about him earlier, one of RL Dougie's big time friends, another 360 top tier price player. Scythe coming off the board. This kid is an absolute stud. I mean, he's an up-and-coming superstar without a doubt. I mean, you got to watch this kid play on his stream. He's an absolute unit. One of the best twos players I've ever personally laid my eyes on. He's an absolute joy to watch. W to Scythe getting picked up here, top 6. He had a lot of success last season. They made it all the way to the semi-conference finals. They were looking really good. They just did not want to go after that stacked Lafayette Lightning team. That's my only concern there with Scythe, man. Make sure to keep his confidence high. He's a top 5, top 3 player in this league, and he's got to remind himself of that. Now, here comes something, guys, that it's going to be very interesting to see kind of what y'all's reactions are after the draft. This man's an absolute legend. He's one of my favorite players that I've ever had the privilege of watching. The 7th pick is going to come here from the Midland Manicores. Mystical is the captain. Mystical's a stud, dude. He was a great player last season. He had a lot of success. They didn't really go very far in the playoffs, but Mystical getting a chance at a top 10 pick with this many great players around him. He's going after arguably probably one of the most rated, maybe the most underpriced players in my opinion in this league. He is stealing repeat 7th overall repeat. Yes, that is the repeat. That is not listen, that is the repeat right there, guys. Going 7th overall. It's unbelievable to say that man fell out of the top 5. But hey, if they can build a team around repeat that makes repeat happy and repeat is happy with who he is playing with, that is going to be an elite team. So, shout out the Midland Manticores going after repeat right there. I can't believe he signed up. It was a very last second signing. So hopefully he is locked in and ready to go. Hopefully he's locked in and ready to go. Oh, wow. And now at number 8, the Toledo Bladesmiths coming in here. This is a big pick as well for these guys. This dude is another champion. This is the 3rd piece of the championship Amarillo Armadillos last season. If you don't know what I'm talking about a guy who got paid out last year for how great he played. Anthony 8 Pizza. Just caught him. This dude is an absolute steal at number 10 or number 8. Someone that they can build around. He's not too high up there on the pricing sheet, but he can play up there with those 360 players. He can play up there with those top 5 guys in this league. He's someone that has shown, based off of who you put around him, he can play with anybody. They ran one of the best 4-man rosters in Div 1 last season, and he played well, whether it was a sub up, a temp sign. Anthony 8 Pizza found a way to perform no matter what, and that's the kind of player clearly the FO Riley man is looking to build his Div 1 team around. So absolute great pick, absolute steal of a pick right there for Anthony 8 going there at number 8. Now here comes the Monterey Monarchs, led by Nave. Nave is actually a player here in Division 1, and he gets to personally pick who he wants to play with right now. He's got a top 10 spot, and he's going with a player, again, a new face, a face I have not had the privilege of being able to see, but a player that is at a great price point, a player that's been talked about very heavily throughout some of the other captains and FOs, Avix. Avix going to the Monarchs, another new franchise, picking up a new player, a new look guy who's looking to make his mark here in Season 2 of RLM. I love that pick up there. Nave obviously looking to make some moves early, so great decision there. Hopefully it all works out. Again, not a player I'm familiar with, so hopefully he balls out and he does well and enjoys being a part of Season 2. Alrighty here. Now, with that being said, next up we got another new one, the Raleigh Monsters. Or I'm sorry, Raleigh Raiders taking Monster. Not too familiar with this one. This is a guy who didn't show up to a lot of tryouts. There's quite a few Div 1 tryouts being held, and he was one of the few who did not sign up. So, that did not go to many tryouts. So very interesting to see what happens here. Very interesting to see how well this guy plays. Clearly, 2FR, saw some great things. He picked up one of my favorite captains that he could have went for in Select. Select's a player who has not been shy of coaching and helping grow teams and trying to make people better. There's clearly something he knows about this guy, Monster, and I just look forward to see what Select's able to do with this guy. Now, after the Raiders, next up we got the Phoenix Phantoms, who currently are being led by Froze. Froze picked up captain there from Wheat the FO, one of the better FOs you'll have. Great FO at making sure to utilize every player within his franchise, make sure everyone is at peak performance and locked in. So Phoenix Phantoms with Froze didn't play last season. He's sitting right at like 349, 340 in that area. Nice little middle pack. I'd like to see this team build one of those more cohesive units. Maybe not go too top heavy. Maybe stay right in the middle of the pack at Div 1 and play around players that Froze is used to playing with. And this is a great start right here. He's going after a man, Gamma. Gamma is a player not had an opportunity to play with this guy. I haven't seen him play again. He is new to Season 2. A lot of new faces seem to be coming out here in Division 1. A tremendous amount of new faces, by the way. Gamma being one of them. With what I've heard about Froze, you got to trust his decision making. Obviously, Wheat Brand's going to have a hand in making sure that the right guys are coming to his franchise. Every franchise Wheat's been a part of, they tend to be successful. They tend to do well. And this is going to be no difference here in Div 1. So we'll see what they're able to do. Now, next up, you got the Morgantown Monsters, one of those few franchises out there in Division 1 that had very little success. Things did not go as planned. They got to go a whole new route. There was no thought process of even bringing back any of those players. It just didn't pan out the way they wanted to with that roster. So Buzz Nutley had to go a whole new direction, make whole new decisions, and try to build a better team out there. It have more success at the beginning of the season. Build out a better roster. Another new face, another new player coming in here. They're going to take a guy named Nate. Nate coming off the board. This is a guy I did see show up to some tryouts. He had a couple captains looking at him. Clearly, Buzz Nutley recognized that, taking him in the first round. This is a guy I thought was going to go top second round, somewhere in the middle of the second round, based off what I was hearing. Clearly, Buzz Nutley was hearing the same things, so he made the decision to go out there and snatch this guy up as quick as possible, taking him early here, late in this first round. Not a bad decision. This is a sought-after player, so go ahead and get your guy. Now, here comes one of our other playing franchise owners in Division 1, and believe it or not, guys, I'm proud to say we have quite a few franchise owners that are actually Div 1 players, man. We got Nave, we got Max, we got 10-piece, just to name the first three that come to my head. It's great to know that we have top-tier franchise owners that can look down at all these divisions. Maxi Pad, however you want to name him, he's going back with a familiar face. Listen, Columbus Flight had a really, really up and down season. They fought through a lot of adversity. Max has got some trust in this guy right here. This was probably one of the few bright spot players he had last year. His guy, Bungo, coming off the board. Big pickup here for Bungo. So happy to see him heading back to Columbus. There was a lot of chemistry built here. This team has played so much Rocket League together. I mean, they know each other so well. The passing plays are just so crisp and clean between Max and Bungo at all times. They seem to always know where each other are on the field, and they're definitely going to need that with likes of players like Repeat, Shocks, Heps, Scythe, all these guys coming back this season. They are going to need to make sure. They're going to need to make sure they have that chemistry through the roof. Their third player is going to be extremely important. Their second round pick for Columbus is so crucial because Bungo and Max need to find that support. Last year it was Dan Wad. Is Dan Wad going to come back? I don't know. We'll have to find out and see. We got a little more picks to go. Alrighty here. Now here comes my favorite EU Morg with his Sentinels next up. He is making a pick here. He's got his captain. His name is Carson. Carson, got a few words with him. Seems like a great guy. He looks locked in, ready to go. He was doing a lot of scouting. There was a lot of communication between him and his franchise owner on what direction that they wanted to go to make the best decision for this new franchise, the Sentinels. I don't know this guy too well. He dodged some of the tryouts, it looks like, because clearly Carson wanted him, because Carson is taking Exy with his very first pick for the Sentinels. Exy coming off the board. Hey, nice name. I like it. Simple, short, to the point. Hopefully this guy can ball out. They're gonna need some. They're gonna need to make a statement, man. When you're a new franchise like this, you got to come out and make some noise early. So hopefully he's able to do that and live up to the hype. Now, here's a player right here that has lived up to so much, I wouldn't say hype, but doubt. Everyone would doubt this man and his team. Nobody gave this guy the credit he deserved, and he balled out every single week and got his team deep into the playoffs on the Boston Braves, man. The Amarillo Armadillos making a huge selection. I'm almost confident Pizza is our captain here for Amarillo. He made a return plug-in, had a lot of faith in this guy. Pizza was one of the best captains we had last season. He had so much success. He built such a great roster around himself. They were the champions. This is our season 1 champions up, and they're starting right with a dude that's got championship mentality. That is North coming off the board here. Absolute great pick, man. I love this pick right here. North was a captain last year for the Boston Braves. D Brown decided to go in a different direction with Unto Jupiter. North on the free agent market now. I'm sitting here waiting, paying attention, trying to figure out what's going to happen with North. Is North going to go be a new captain? Because he did a great job. He's been a captain for me in other leagues at times, and he has been very successful. He's always been on winning teams and winning franchises, even when the other franchises doubt him. The Boston Braves were doubted all season. North and Jupiter continued to win. So great pickup there by the Armadillos. You got a winner right there. He may not do nothing flashy, but that's a winner. And at the end of the day, that's what you need if you're trying to go after the money. Now, next up here, you got the Cairo Cobras. Another new franchise led by a very familiar name, Ty Rogers. He's been a very successful franchise owner in many seasons. He's coming back to do it again with the Cairo Cobras. I love the direction he's going. He's got a great player here. This dude absolutely balled out last year for Phoenix. He was the only real bright spot in my eye for those Phoenix Phantoms. He was a pleasure to watch. He was coming after constantly. Looked like he was going to end up with Defensive Player of the Year with how great he played. He was robbed of All-Stars in my opinion. But you're going to see Bluey, a fan favorite, coming off the board. Bluey going to the Cairo Cobras. Not a bad pick at all. Bluey is a great player to build his team around. Absolute beast, man. I mean, I enjoyed watching Bluey. I think Bluey came on a little bit later for the Phoenix Phantoms. I don't think Bluey was there at the very beginning of the season. But when he came on, man, he changed the culture of those Phoenix Phantoms. He ran... it was Angel, I believe his name was. And everyone thought Angel was going to be that top player. Angel was going to be the best guy. But Bluey still continued to shine with the stats. Bluey was still the reason that they kept winning, just based off what we were looking at each and every week on stream. I mean, I would personally take Bluey as well, man. Great pickup there by Cairo. And they're going to put Bluey with a name I'm not familiar with. I don't have too much to say about this one, but maybe Bluey had some intake on this guy, and if Bluey wants to run with him, I got to trust it. But you're going to see Jazidi, hopefully I'm pronouncing that right, Jazidi, finishing out the roster for the Cairo Cobras. Shout out Jazidi. Welcome to the league, man. You're playing with a great player, and I hope that you have a lot of success here in season number 2. Now, circling back around again, this is a snake draft. If you've not been paying attention, if you're not aware of that, this is a snake draft for us here. Amarillo Armadillos back on the clock. Big pickup here. I mean, I love to start with North. Huge fan of that pickup. And now they're adding one of the top tier players left on the draft board, Kratos. He was kind of a bit of a late signing there in free agency, and Amarillo took advantage of that. He didn't really get a lot of opportunity to go to a lot of tryouts because by the time he signed up, most of the tryouts were done. But you see Kratos coming out here. Amarillo, whole new roster. It's official. Roster is completely shaken up. Only one left is Pizza. So it'll be interesting to see if Amarillo can repeat the same success without the likes of Shocks, without the likes of Anthony 8 Pizza, without 10-piece Nuggy. What is Pizza now going to be able to do? What is Pizza's story in RLM going to be? He has a chance to show that he can do it with anybody that he wants to and just be an elite captain. So I'm excited to see what happens with him, man. I'm really looking forward to see what he can do. Now, after Amarillo, the Sentinels are back on the clock, and they are definitely taking a fan favorite. One of the dogs down at the bottom of the draft pool. This is a steal right here. One of the best, most underrated players in the league. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm talking about my man G3 Celtics. Shout out G3 Celtics, man. This is a great addition to anybody's roster. Huge pickup for this guy. Let me tell you something. This dude was literally in tryouts, helping out Div 2, helping out Div 3 people, helping guys pick up, helping these FOs scout out players, helping to put together teams. The dude's just a team first guy. Listen, down there in Div 2, he was an offensive juggernaut, all right? Absolute juggernaut down there in Div 2 with offense. So let's see what he can do. Now he's got a test up here in Div 1 to see if he can do the same thing, put up the same kind of offensive numbers that he did. He's going to be missing his running mate in Dylan this season. Now he's got to make some new ones. He's got to go make some new friends, and set his own path, right? A lot of people were giving most of G3's credit towards how well Dylan played. And now G3 gets an opportunity to say, hey, I'm my own player. I'm my own guy, and I'm elite, and I can do it without Dylan. I can do it in Div 1. So let's see what he's able to do, man. Let's see what he's able to do. Alrighty. Here we go. Next up, after the Sentinels, we're back with the Columbus fight, and they did it again. They went after the man. Maxi Pad did not shake things up. I got respect for you, Max. I got a lot of respect for it. Dan Wad coming back off the board, coming back to Columbus. They look to do it again. Bongo, Max, Dan Wad trying to run things back. I love the idea of it. There was some success, but hey, 8th seed, Max. We got to build on that. We got to build on it, Columbus. We got to somehow find a way to do it. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be hard. But hey, he's got faith. Progress has to be made. I believe in my guy. They're missing the GOAT, Kryptonite, this season. So we'll see what they're able to do. But at the end of the day, Columbus, you guys got an uphill battle, but they were ready for the challenge. They're clearly ready for the challenge. They had a lot of players to pick from. They stuck it out. They stuck it with their boys. They stuck it with their squad, and I just hope they have success, man. All right, Morgantown Monsters back on the board, continuing their ways, going with the player I'm not too familiar with this one. Did not see him in tryouts. He was a late sign up. Kind of showed up out of nowhere a little bit. You know, he's got a chance to make some noise. I mean, I've heard a little bit from Buzz about this guy. Not too much has been said, though. But Creature coming out here for the Morgantown Monsters. Mid-tier player right there in Div 1. A great draft pick to kind of balance things out. They got a really well-balanced team now. So it'll be interesting to see. They got Crab as their Div 1 captain. Name just came back to me. Crab is one of the top players coming into this league now, guys. 360. If you're 360, you're a top tier player in this league. I got a chance to talk to Crab. Seems like a really well-mannered guy. Seems like a great player to play with. Seems like someone I would be very happy to be in a VC with while I'm playing. Seems very positive. Seems locked in. Seems to know what he's doing. So, Creature, hey, getting recognition from Shocks. Dude's got to be a stud. All right. So if Shocks is telling me he's a GOAT, that guy's a GOAT in my book, and I can't wait to see what he's able to do. Really looking forward to see what this Morgantown Monsters look like. Because, again, bottom tier team last year in Div 1. Now with an opportunity here to come in and show everybody that they're a new look franchise, man. They are starting over, and they are going to be elite. I'm looking forward to see it, man. Great start here for Buzz. Glad for Buzz. Okay, Phoenix Phantoms. Froze coming in here, grabbing a guy. Grabbing a guy that, again, is someone brand new, top tier player coming in. There's apparently been a lot of good word about RLM recently because we got Jim John. I like the name, Jim John. Jimmy John's coming in. Oh, gonna get copyrighted. Just kidding. Jim John coming in. Phoenix Phantoms. Not a bad pickup there. Kind of right towards the middle of the pack. Clearly Froze is doing exactly kind of what I was hoping he was going to do. Obviously, like I said earlier, him and Wheat have really put their heads together to figure out a great squad. I think this is a very well-balanced team right here. And I like the decisions that the Phantoms have made. Hopefully, John can step up and just be that piece, that final piece of the puzzle, man. So, we'll see what he's able to do. Alrighty, now after the Phoenix Phantoms, we're circling back around to the Raiders. Big chance here for the Raiders. Again, I've already said it. Select, making these decisions. He is going to select Spatial coming off the board. A couple players, man, that I'm not too familiar with. You know, they're not the usual players I've seen Select play with. I don't know if Select maybe brought these guys into the league recently. I did not see specifically Spatial playing in a lot of tryouts. You know, it's not a common trend for Div 1 players to play in tryouts. It's not really what they like to do. You know, they think that they're the busiest people in the world. I completely understand sometimes. But, you know, very busy guys. They can't make tryouts. I understand. So Select, he's got a lot of insight. He does a lot of coaching. So maybe Spatial is one of those guys who came in and he made him who he is. I don't know, but hey, I got all the faith in the world in my guy Select, dude. He's great at building teams. Alrighty, now the Monterey Monarchs coming in here with a name. With a name, an interesting one is I think it's You Are Super Girl. Let's just go Super Girl. All right, what a name. All right, Dave, good pick. Dave, it's the best player in the league. Please. Hey, listen, if you got picked up by Nave, listen, he's expecting someone to come in and be the GOAT, be the best player there is, and you just got put in that spot. Everyone's been saying, listen, we're going after Supergirl, we're going after Super Mr. Girl, or however the name wants to be pronounced. But this is your opportunity now for the Monterey Monarchs, one of the biggest franchises, one of the first ones that we added here heading into Season 2. We had that much confidence in Nave to build a super contender, and now you get the opportunity to do it. He's picking up one of the GOATs, and hey, we'll figure the name out at some point. Alrighty, here, next up, we are on... Alrighty. Okay, so we just got done with Supergirl. Next up, we do have the Toledo Bladesmiths back. This is a player who I've actually seen a couple captains talking about. This is a player I was waiting to see come off the board. I'm a little shocked to see them fall this low. I don't know, maybe they were just comfortable with their price point. They feel like they didn't have to risk it. I'm really not too sure, but Toledo Bladesmith get a little bit of a steal right here. A lot of captains talking highly of him. Not sure why he fell, but yo, coming off the board to the Bladesmiths. That's one of those guys who did show up to a couple tryouts, did get a couple captains looking at a couple FOs talking about him in the conference room, you know, and he gets stolen right here. Not a bad pick at all. You know, this is coming, I potentially saw head into to Venus or potentially going out to the Boston Braves, but he is going to find his home in Toledo. Big pick up there. Coming off the board. Okay. Midland Manicore's back on the board here. And they're getting a guy who he didn't need to show up to tryouts. This guy, as soon as he joined in, he was someone that was very, very comfortable with. A lot of players knew who he was. He comes from a lot of different leagues. He's a player that a lot of these captains kind of, spoke highly of, but I didn't see a lot of people say that they were going to go after him. So, opportunity here for the Midland Manticores to kind of sit on him and wait. They didn't go after him in the first round, but I knew he was on the board. Falling here all the way late in the second round, you're going to see Mitch coming in here for the Midland Manticores. Nice little pickup there. Mitch being stolen by the Manticores. You know Greninja is feeling hype about his draft. Not a bad start here if you're a Midland fan. Midland seems to always be competitive. Always. They just seem to always be competitive. We're missing out on a couple of the OGs from Midland who didn't sign up this season, but they were replaced by some studs. Oh, here we go. Boston Braves circling back around. Uto Jupiter getting a really good player. I think this guy actually ended up finishing it out with this team last season. I could be wrong, but it's a player that kind of got tossed around a little bit. He was kind of a bit of a journeyman last season in Division 1, but everywhere he landed, he put up good stats. I don't know if it was an availability issue. I'm not too sure what was going on with it, but this guy right here, Adrift, going to the Boston Braves. Absolutely love this pick. He was a stud for the teams that he played on last season. He kind of bounced around a little bit, but everywhere he landed, he seemed to play good. So he just got to find a good fit this season. I think he's in a really good spot right now. Now, next up here, we got the Nagasaki Ronin, and here we go. This is a player, listen, I've seen him in a lot of leagues. I've seen him play a lot. I've talked to the guy quite a bit. He's always been on a pretty competitive team no matter where he ends up. He's usually a captain, though. I was very shocked to see he did not go captain this year. He's usually the one putting it together, the teams. But this time, the Ronin are going the direction of Vulcan. Vulcan coming off the board here to the Nagasaki Ronin. I love this pickup here. Just a great steal right there. Knuckles doing a great job, obviously seeing this guy on the board and knowing he had to take advantage of it. That's a fantastic pickup there. Vulcan, Phoenix Phantom last season, now is a Nagasaki Ronin. Great pickup. W pick for sure. Now, here's another top-tier guy. Another top-tier dude coming off the board, and he's going to pair up with some studs. The Paracity Swarm getting a chance to pair up another great player with Shocks. Driz. How about that, man? How about Driz, Shocks, and Heps making it onto one team? Those are some names you need to get very familiar with. This Paracity Swarm is going to be a great team once again. I love this pickup here. Driz is another top-tier player that you're going to see Shocks have an opportunity to pair himself up with. So, great pickup there, getting Driz. Probably shocked to see Driz down there that long. But maybe just a lot of people weren't aware of just what they were missing out on. So great pickup there. Shock taking advantage of the poor decision to leave that guy in the second round. I can't believe it. Shocked. Hey, now here comes a guy here, the Tokyo Drifters. Okay, Mr. Battle Bus himself. If you know, you know. This man is a stud. He'll rock any car he wants, and he's gonna play good. My guy, Albax, making it just towards the end. Outback going to the Tokyo Drifters. Joy taking a chance. What a great pickup there. Outback's going to Tokyo. Love that pickup. Outback's active player. He's going to be ready to play. He's going to be ready to train, man. He's going to be locked in. He's going to be ready to grind. He's going to be wanting to improve each and every week. He's going to also want to have a good time. He's a funny dude. Great pickup. Outback is very shocked in the chat, but hey, man, glad to see you making it to the team. Okay, I mean, here comes a great pickup here. This is a legendary name. A dude that's another born winner. Another born winner. A player who has found a way to win no matter what franchise he's been on. No matter what league I've seen him in, he's always winning. This guy is a personal favorite of mine. I'm glad he made it onto a team. He's going to be a difference maker here for the Lafayette. The new look Lafayette Lightning taking Mux here to close right at the end of their roster. We got one pick remaining in the second round, but Mux coming off the board. Great pick there by Feeds. Absolutely love that one. Absolutely love Mux going there. That guy is a great player to play with, man. Okay, interesting selection here. 10-piece. I thought I had an idea. I mean, I felt really good about who he was going with the first pick. Obviously, Ren is a steal. You know, you got to take Ren number one. It makes no sense not to. But this is a guy I'm not too familiar with. I'm not too familiar with this one. And 10-piece did not say this man's name when I asked him, so he kind of misled me a little bit. I like it, but Liumi coming off the board. All right, Liumi coming here to the Vigilantes. He said, there he is. Yes, sir. Liummy. Hey. Not. Oh, man. What are we missing, Liummy? Oh, dude. They did butcher it. We're missing an M and a Y. Please forgive us. Listen, man. This is a sign. You got to come back and just play even better for the season. I mean, come on, dude. You're absolutely going to one of the best new franchises there is. You're playing with a champion now. You're playing with a champion, dude. Playing with a champion in Nuggie. So hopefully you guys have a lot of success this season with your Division 1 team. I absolutely love that pairing. I mean, I haven't had the privilege of seeing you play, but I look forward to see what you're able to do with Nuggie out there. Alrighty, guys, that is going to be it for the Division 1 draft. That does round out Division 1. Don't worry, though, guys. We're not going anywhere. We're going to jump right into Division 2. You know how we do things here. We don't take our sweet time. We're ready to rock, so we're going to rock Division 2. Starting out with the Boston Braves. They landed the #1 overall pick. Shout out D Brown, doing a great job landing that spot, man. I mean, you know, he asked nicely, so we made it happen. Now, this is the name. He told me he was washed. He told me, Camaro, I don't belong here. I don't belong here, Camaro. But going #1 overall, congratulations, Decaf, coming off the board first. Obviously, Boston Braves felt like they needed to get this guy early. A lot of players was asking questions about him. He was constantly going in Div 2 asking, who's going to get me? Who's going to get me? He attended a lot of tryouts. And clearly the Boston Braves did not want to miss out on an opportunity to land in decaf. They saw something in him that clearly, you know, a lot of other captains, a lot of other FOs were talking about. And they went in and they stole him. Absolutely love seeing him go right there. Great pickup, decaf, first overall pick. I can't say that I'm shocked, man. I told him it was going to happen. I mean, he's a better player than he gives himself credit for. He's definitely down on himself a little bit long. I don't know if it's just a strategy for him, but he does get down on himself a little bit. So going #1 overall, hopefully that boosts that confidence and gets him locked in, ready to go for the season. Okay, Cairo Cobras. Ty Rogers getting decided. Really has the pick. He can pick whoever he wants to pair himself with right now this season. And he's going to go with an old face. He didn't play much last season, but we're going to see Bamboo coming off. He's an OG. Bamboo paired up with Ty Rogers. Listen, they've had a lot of play time together. Very familiar with each other. Clearly Ty Rogers felt like, hey, we're going to run things back, man. We're gonna run things back. We're gonna have a great draft. So Bamboo kicking things off, second overall pick here in Division 2. Alrighty, here now the Tokyo Drifters, Joy. Alright, an active playing FO here. Joy, kind of middle of the pack player, trying to figure out who he's gonna pair himself with. What route is he gonna go? He's gonna go with Cryptus here. Cryptus, the third overall pick for the Tokyo Drifters. Cryptus is a guy who I saw Joy try out with a little bit. He played a couple games with this guy. They ran through some things in some tryouts. They looked good. They looked great. It's going to be interesting to see who they pair with each other. I mean, that was really kind of something I was really thinking about heavy when I was watching them play. Yes, they look good together. Now it's going to be about who is going to be their third. Who is going to be that player that they can pair up with together. Heard absolute great things about Cryptus. A lot of teams were wanting this guy. Clearly, Joy knew that. So Joy went ahead and took him early. Took him early here. Top 3 pick. Congratulations, Cryptus. It's a great thing to be top 3. Another player here who went to quite a few tryouts and did a really good job. Nagasaki Ronin here at #4 for Division 2. Knuckles getting an opportunity here to kind of set the tone with a top 5 pick. That's what that can do for your franchise. It can really change the look, change the shape of your team. Bankai coming out #4. He had a lot of success in the tryouts. I feel like Div 2 had probably the most tryouts held out of any of the divisions, and Bankai was at most of them, and he did really good. He showed out. He played well. Clearly the Ronins knew they needed to take this guy that did not want to leave him. I was not expecting to see him go top 5, but I'm glad to see Bankai get in there, and now he gets a chance to lead this franchise to some victories, man. Alrighty, here now to round up top 5, an old name right here, a name I have not seen play in quite some time. It'll be interesting to see if he can knock the rust off and come ball out here with these Div 2 studs. Listen, Div 2 is no joke this season. These are some GCs. These are some top guys. This player right here, I've seen him play with Wheat. I've seen him play with some names that I've gone way back with. He's fast. He's speedy. He loves to play offense. He loves to push the tempo. I'm talking about Reaper going 5th overall to the Toledo Blade Smiths. Absolute great pickup. You know, I didn't see him at too many tryouts. I mean, there must have been something here that Toledo saw. They knew he was going to be locked in. I didn't expect top 5 here, man. There's a couple players, there's a couple guys that I thought would be that top 5 spot. But, you know, you see Rambles coming here after Reaper. Rambles is actually a player who's played Reaper before. They're very comfortable with each other, very familiar with each other. You know, they played a lot of Rocket League together. It's a great team. So it'll be very interesting to see what they're able to do. Alrighty here. Now the Monterey Monarchs are up at number 6. Now this is a guy at the top of the list, man. This is a top tier player that a lot of people were looking at. A lot of people were expecting to see go. And this is someone I really kind of expected to see go in like the top 5. Was kind of like my thought process for him was the top 5 in a way. But instead we're going to see him kind of fall out of that. And I'm sure Nave and his team was very excited to get this opportunity to steal this guy. Next, coming off the board here, heading to the Monarchs with an absolute fantastic pickup. Absolutely great pickup here. Monarchs getting next off the board. Great job. Great job. We got a little bit of a hydration. I'll take a moment. Hydrate here. We got the jug ready to roll. Appreciate you guys looking out. Getting the hydration here. As Riley coming in here as we take a minute and we get him to see Riley resubscribing. Thanks so much, Riley. 20 straight months, man. Absolutely. Greatly appreciate that. Greatly appreciate that, man. Alrighty. Amarillo Armadillos plugins team back on the board here. First time in Division 2, round 1. You're going to see Pandora going out. How about Pandora coming in? Not a bad spot here for Pandora to land. He's a player who he's new to Season 2. I haven't seen him play at all. I've heard some people talking about him. That's really about it. I mean, I know a couple captains were looking at him, but without attending a lot of the tryouts, I didn't expect him to go this high. So at the end of the day, great pickup here for the Amarillos to get this guy. Now, after the Amarillo Armadillos, you got the Columbus Flight. They're taking a familiar face, man. He was on the franchise last season. The Columbus Flight didn't have too much success in Div 2. A lot of ups and downs. A very up and down season for them. But they're coming right back with this guy. He was one of the few bright spots. He had good moments. He had good weeks. It was just keeping him consistent really was the issue with the Flight. It seemed like every time they hit some of the top tier teams, there was a little bit of a lag there. But clearly, Max has got some faith in these guys. He has not given up yet. You're going to see the Columbus Flight go with Promising, taking Promising off the board. Absolutely great pickup there for Promising. So, Promising going to the Columbus Flight. And I mean, he's heading back to him, man. I mean, I think you can't bring the same roster, though, in my opinion. I hope they don't go the exact same route. I love AJ. I think it was a great decision. Promising coming back. There's got to be somebody else that makes things different because Div 2's only gotten better. Div 2's only gotten better, so you got to make the roster a little bit better. You can't come out here with the same thing. Now, speaking of making your roster better, how about taking a top 5 player in this league somehow still remaining where we are in round 1? Akaza, however you want to pronounce it. One of the few players I did get to see in tryouts, and the dude is an absolute menace in the air. He's one of the fastest players I was able to see out on the field at all times. He got to the ball quicker than most Div 2 players. The dude should be an absolute stud. Lafayette Lightning pairing up Juicy Deucey with Akaza. I think it's a great pairing. Juicy Deucey's a defensive guy. He's a defensive juggernaut out there in Div 2. Akaza can be that offensive spark, that offensive light that they need. So absolutely love the pickup here for Lightning. I think Juicy's heading in the right direction. Obviously, we're going to miss our guy Zach this season. But hey, Akaza, great player to have in place until Zach can maybe come back potentially later on. Now, here's a guy, been making a lot of noise in the chats. We've been seeing him all the time. He's everywhere. He's been trying to figure out where's he going to go. The only question we've had is not if he's going to get drafted, it's where's he going to get drafted. You're going to see, I imagine this to be a fan favorite at some point. The dude's got a great charisma to him. He looks great in the chats. He looked great during tryouts. You're going to see Nervebot coming out here to the Midland Manicure. Shout out Nervebot, finally getting his name called off the board. Great pickup there. Absolutely love seeing Nervebot finally getting picked up. I've heard great things about him. When I was talking about who I expect to go top 5, he is one of those people I thought was going to go top 5. Just with how many captains were talking about him, I didn't really expect him to be down here this late in the first rounds. So great job for Midland, at least. You know, they're obviously jonesing about this. Very excited to have an opportunity to take this guy. Next up, after that, we got the Paris City Swarm. Okay, this is Dylan coming back here. He's got to go a whole new looking team this season, guys. Whole new looking team for Dylan and his squad. The champion Miami Skyline made a journey overseas, heading to Paris City, and like I said, he's got to go a whole new roster. I love this pickup, man. This dude was a stud last year for the Phoenix Phantoms. He was an absolute fun player to watch. He's someone I've probably played the most amount of ranked games with this guy. He's a beast when it comes to playing twos. Shout out Oblivion, man. Shout out Oblivion heading to the Paris City Swarm. You can't really get a better franchise owner than who you just landed right there. I think that's an absolute great pick. I think it's a great landing spot there for Oblivion. Heading to Paris City. He's going to be one of the little worker bees out there for Dylan. Alrighty, here as Oblivion actually makes a presence in the chat. Vigilantes are on the clock here. This is a fun franchise, man. I'm really looking forward to this franchise as a whole, led by Nuggy, picking up one of the better captain options, one of the best captains we had last season, Trojan here leading the way for Division 2, getting a chance to kind of make a statement here with his round 1 pick. He is now going to be considered, the face of the franchise. Trojan was a third man a lot last season. Third man. But now you're looking at him. He's going to be one of the dogs. He's going to be one of those top guys that now we're looking at, hey, what's Trojan going to do this week? He's got to step up big time. And now he is coming in and he's pairing himself up with Nate. Nate going off the board for the Vigilantes there in round 1. Good pickup there for the Vigilantes, pairing Nate up with Trojan. I think it's a smart decision to make. I think it's a great player to put there with him. Trojan is a high-octane, high-offensive player, and that's all I have heard about that man, Nate. So, W's in the chat for that. Vigilantes already looking like a fierce team. Alrighty, the Raiders coming through here. One of our last second franchises we added just because of the huge influx and free agent signings or signups that we had. 2FR took over, man. He stepped up big, took over his spot. He got a great captain, Lion coming out here and just... He was one of the better strikers, man. He's always a great striker. He's never had issues with striking. He's one of the better scorers in the league. It's just surrounding elite players around himself, and he's getting someone I've played for a long time. I've known this man for years. I've known this guy for years, and so has Lion. It's probably the player he has the most chemistry with. This is a dangerous pairing. Rogue coming out here in the first round. Rogue, I think, getting the best price he's had in a long time. He typically gets, priced a little bit too high, he feels like. Now I feel like he's at a real sweet spot to where he's really going to be able to shine. I feel like they're really going to have a chance to actually put a good third man around Lion and Rogue to where they can go out there and play the game that they like to play instead of Rogue feeling like he has to be forced to play back all the time to make up on defense. I think now they got a chance to add a unique third man around them that can help push the offense and set the tone with them. And the Raiders should be pretty elite. All right, now you want to talk about a fan favorite? This is a shocker. This is again one of those players I'm expecting top 5. I don't understand how we're seeing this guy bottom of the first round, but clearly Morgantown said, I'm not waiting. I'm almost 97% sure this is Kurami Ronnie coming back from Morgantown with a chance to set the tone. And he's stealing. He's absolutely stealing somebody. Metro's a top 3 player in this league. Absolutely slept on right now. The dude joined late. My man Metro's joined late last season. Got picked up by the Dragons. Dragons didn't have a lot of success, but there was a lot of chaos with the Dragons. And amidst that chaos, you had Metro's absolutely balling out. He was the only thing that kept the Dragons together in some manner last year. And now you see Metro's coming out here, Morgantown, getting the honor of being a first round pick as deserved, and now gets a chance to be the face of a franchise instead of someone that just was a band-aid, someone that just got plugged in on a bad situation. Now he gets a chance to come out and rock out and have a great season. So that's a great pick. Honestly, great picks across the board right now for Morgantown. Morgantown definitely struggled quite a bit in certain areas last year, and now they're making the right decisions up here early in the draft. Gotta love to see it. I hope it all pans out. Alrighty, here, Phoenix Phantoms on the clock. Big old Wheat Brands on the clock. Not the name I thought. I mean, the name I thought already went. I thought Oblivion was going here, man. I thought we were going to see the Wheat and Oblivion pairing again. Honestly, there was someone else I also thought was going to go here. He's not come off the board just yet, but we're gonna see Arc coming off the board. A player that was in hiding. Never saw him attend a tryout. Clearly there's something, you know, we knew something that we didn't know about this guy. Obviously someone we has to have some sort of chemistry with, someone he's clearly been playing with at some point to where he felt comfortable taking there with the first pick. Got some we got some recognition by the man breaking. If breaking says it, I trust. Solid pick here. I trust the decision. New look, new player here for season 2 of RLM. So we'll see what they're able to do, man. You gotta trust Wheatbrand. He's always put together great teams. He's always been competitive no matter where he's at. So we'll see what him and Ark are able to do this season. Now the Sentinels, again, with one of our only, at least that I know, there could be some other ones, but the only EU player in our server. Whether there are EU players, I don't care. This is my favorite EU. This is the best EU I've ever seen. He's an absolute stud. He's a great guy. He is picking up Rilo here in Division 2. Morg is making the move. Rilo coming off the board to the Sentinels. You know, I saw Rilo in a couple of the tryouts. He was there pretty early when the thing started, but towards the end, he didn't really go to too many tryouts at the end once we got closer to the draft. Clearly the Sentinels reached out to him. Clearly the Sentinels said, hey man, we're going for you. We know that you're going to be a great player to build around, and we're going to take you right here in the first round. Give him first round honors. And how about starting things off in the second round with a personal favorite of mine, a guy who, listen, Morgantown had some issues last season. A lot of stress going on with Morgantown. They were able to push through it. A lot of it had to do with the consistent play of one of the better third men in the league. You know who I'm talking about. That's Fort coming off the board. Fort here as the #1 pick in the second round, heading to the Sentinels. I love the pick, man. Fort is someone who I would personally love to have on my team. The dude keeps it real. Likes to have a good time, but also takes it very serious. Dude's a stud. I did think he was going to head back to Morgantown, to be quite honest with you. I 100% thought Fort was going back to Morgantown. Truthfully, is where I wanted him to go. Sentinels kind of had the blessing of being able to take that last pick and then go first in the second round. So they're able to really see the board. They're able to see what actually is available and actually know what they can and can't get. And so they get a chance to just snatch up Fort in the top of the second round. It's about where I expected him to go. I thought maybe you might see him get stolen in a late first round pick, potentially, because you know he's not making it to those bottom teams in that second round. But at the end of the day, it's a great landing spot for him. He's gonna have a great FO. He's gonna have a very active FO, and I know that's all Fort's really looking for. Alrighty, here next up with the next pick, it's no shock here. We're going to see Jonah Bona coming off the board to the Phoenix Phantoms. W pick all day long. Phoenix Phantoms, little, you know, not the best ending last season. We all thought the Phoenix Phantoms were going to find a way to upset the Miami Skyline. They were not able to do it, but absolute W pick. There's no shock. I truly thought Jonah was going to go first round. Clearly, Wheat still landed his guy no matter what. Maybe he just thought there was a higher chance that you see Art go off the board instead, because maybe there's a little more traction. But Jonah, it was risky to me, man. I thought really, I mean, Jonah's one of those guys that everyone knows how good Jonah is. Everyone knows how consistent. I think that's the best word you can say about Jonah. Consistency. Because even if he's a little bit off, he's still going to find a way to make some differences in the match, whether it's bump plays, passing, locking down on defense. Anything that he's able to do, he's going to do it. He doesn't really care about his stats. He's just a great teammate to have. So an absolutely great pickup getting Jonah Bona there. Bit of a risky move by Wheat waiting until the second round, but he still got his guy at the end of the day. All right, here's a player here who's been spoken about very highly. I have to probably think that the Lafayette Lightning might be a little bit upset that he's off the board, because I thought he was going to the Lightning. There's a couple franchises that were talking very highly of this guy. This is Braden going off the board here to the Morgantown Monsters. Again, Morgantown making a great pick here. Absolutely doing a great job scouting out our huge market for free agency. Huge pickup. Morgantown grabbing Braden there. Braden coming off the board. He is now officially a Morgantown Monster. And let me tell you something. Last season for Morgantown may not have been the franchise you want to be. There's a little bit of ups and downs, but right now Morgantown seems to be the place to be. They're landing some studs. Some top tier players are heading out to Morgantown right now, and they are looking great. Huge pick up there. Love that pick getting Braden. All right, here's a player I actually thought about you know, when I was looking through the free agency pool, this is a guy who I know is a good player. I seen him play. He plays CRL, and he does pretty darn good at it. He had a little bit of a chance to showcase that with the Detroit Dragons. It didn't go very well last season. Had some ups and downs. Got cut. Didn't stay on the team. Ended up getting dropped. But now with a chance to start refresh, this could be that difference maker. This guy's got the experience. He's got the ability. He's got the skills. He can play offense. He can play defense. His rotations are clean. The Raiders are taking elements. Lion Bengal pairing himself up with Rogue and Element for the new look Raleigh Raiders, man. Absolute great pick. I did not think he was going to go Element here, but I do like this pick. I think Oblivion was probably one of the most sought after players in this draft, man. Huge pick. I did not know Dylan had his eyes on him, but that was an absolute W pick there by Dylan because that guy was going. Okay, Vigilantes coming out here and getting a little shake up here. Grabbing some. I didn't see my man at too many tryouts, but this guy I'm very familiar with. He's been in the league pretty much since day one. He's a real one, man. He keeps things real. He doesn't mess around. He had a lot of success last season playing with some top tier players, actually playing with one of the best players in the entire league consistently, and that best player feeds giving him acknowledgement, constantly saying, hey, this guy is one of the main reasons I play as good as I do. He's one of the best support players in this league, and clearly the Vigilantes heard that. Clearly the Vigilantes were paying attention to that, and now you're going to see Melon coming off the board. Huge pickup there for the Vigilantes, just picking up a stud of a player, a great support player who's going to be there consistently for you each and every week when you need them. Great pickup there. As Nuggy says, 2 for 2 so far. W pick right there. Love seeing Melon come off the board. Thought Melon might go a little bit higher, to be honest, just because of how highly he has been talked about, especially by a top tier player in Div 2 last season, and now a Div 1 player in feeds. I thought he would go a little bit higher than this, but hey, W pick up there for sure. Alrighty here, now the Parasite Swarm next up here. An interesting pair of Dylan going very, very fast. I mean, this man, it's got to be pretty smart, dude. If you think about it, Dylan has been one of the more consistent players in this league. He's known as a defensive menace. His passing is a second to none in the league. He's one of the best facilitators you will see in Division 2. I know we got some new names that might try to take that title from him, but right now, as it sits, heading to the new season, he is the top guy. And he is pairing Oblivion, and now he's getting another offensive juggernaut in Siege. 2-2s demons, man. 2-2s players that are just elite. Dylan's gonna send these guys off like little worker bees and just send them to play, send them to go play some offense, and Dylan's just gonna clean some things up. I think this is an absolute great pickup. I think it's a great pairing. Dylan's going to have to manage this team. Dylan's going to have to keep them locked in. I don't know how much they've all played together per se, but hey, Oblivion's one of the best players that you can play with, and Siege is a guy that keeps Siege level-headed. That kid can absolutely ball out. He can potentially be someone you see as Striker of the Year, especially if he has Dylan facilitating to him. You definitely could be looking at Striker of Year candidate at the end of this season. Alrighty, next up here, the Midland Manticores coming out with an opportunity to make some noise. And this is a player who is a top tier player who kind of signed up a little bit late. We got Drips coming off the board, heading to the Manticores. Not a bad pickup at all. Not a bad pickup at all. I didn't see him at too many tryouts. I thought he was going to kind of fly a little bit under the radar because of that. But clearly the Manticores had some confidence in this dude, so they felt like they needed to make the pick, and they did it. Great pickup. Love seeing Drips go there. Hopefully he can make some noise. Midland needs some help, man. They were a mid-tier team last year. It was really just consistency was the big thing for the Midland Manticores. It was just a struggle of keeping things consistent. They just got to find a way to build around their star player now and just lock in and have a great season, and things will go just fine. Now here's a familiar face. Here's a stud of a pick. Lafayette Lightning, keeping things familiar, going with a player that, when you talk about chemistry, this guy was probably one of the best third men in the league. I don't remember if Dizzy actually won third man of the year, but I know he was close. I know he was in the conversations. I know a lot of people were shocked when he didn't actually win third man of the year because of how well he was actually able to play for the Lafayette Lightning around Zach and around Juicy. And when Zach and Juicy were a little bit off, Dizzy Dave always found a way to step up. And now he's going back to the Lafayette Lightning. Huge pickup there. Lafayette Lightning getting Dizzy Dave back. I mean, he didn't go to a lot of tryouts, man. I mean, it would have been a shock to see someone steal Dizzy Dave from him. But, clearly Juicy knew who he wanted to run as a third. I love this pairing, man. I think it's a smart move. They got a Keza, who I think is one of the best offensive players in the league, just based off what I saw in tryouts. I think he truly was the fastest player that I saw attend tryouts. He was the most accurate. He put up the most points, and I think that's what Lightning was one of the best defensive teams in the league last season. That's all we talked about. Best defensive team, and we always wondered, where's the offense going to come from? Where's that offense? Now they got that guy. They got a Keza. They got the same roster that just plugged in a Keza. Let's see if he can step up and do what we expect him to do and what he's supposed to do. Okay, AJ making a pick here. Interesting selection. Big time interesting selection here. We're going to see Dreamix coming off the board to the Columbus Flight. Dreamix, a captain last year. I believe Dreamix was the captain of the Detroit Dragons, if I'm not mistaken. They had a little bit of that rocky start at the beginning. So it's an interesting decision there. Clearly, AJ's got faith in my guy, Dreamix. I've had a couple conversations with Dreamix before. He seems like he's a good player to play with. He's a guy that likes to get after it on offense. He likes to be aggressive. That's how AJ is as well. AJ is an offensive-minded player, and so he wants to surround himself with some guys that are really going to push the tempo, run that front half rotation strong, consistently, get after the ball, put some pressure, put some shots up. Dreamix is that guy for them. I love that pickup. And good to see Dreamix in the chat too. Don't really get to see Dreamix too often in the chat, man. So good to see you, Dreamix. Hopefully you have a great season too. Glad to have you back. Now, here's a guy coming out here for the Amarillo Armadillos. This is another player I was expecting to be like a top 10 pick with how much traction he was getting, how many people were talking about this guy. Kyrim heading to the Amarillo Armadillos right here. Not a bad pick at all, I do say so. I mean, he was supposed to be top 10 with how people were talking. Now they're stealing him in the second round. Amarillo doing a great job taking advantage of what fell before them and just grabbing a great value pick here at the back half of the second round. Monterey Monarchs, again, circling back around. This is a player I was kind of looking at. He's kind of in the middle of the pack. He's a guy who the name just kind of sticks out to you when you see it. You know, he's a player who, he was at some of the tryouts. He looked good. He didn't do anything too flashy, but he just had a chance to where every single time he was playing, it seemed like his teams were winning. It seemed like whatever team he was on for the tryouts, his team was successful. And Monterey, a new franchise, is only looking for success here in Season 2. So why not take a chance on a winner? That's SARS coming off the board here to the Monterey Monarchs. Great pick up there, SARS heading to the Monarchs. Gotta love the W logo. Best logo in the league. Shout out Nave. Shout out Nave again. Anyone who wants to give some credit to the logo, shout out Nave, shout out Juice. Those guys worked very, very hard on these logos for us. They put in some great work. So thank you so much, Nave, and thank you, Juice, as well, for all y'all's hard work behind the scenes for this amazing league that we got here before us. Alrighty here. Here's a guy could not for a second understand how this is the pick right here. He attended tryouts. He played good in the tryouts. He's a well-known player. He's a guy that we all know. I mean, listen, maybe people didn't think he was going to take it too serious. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know what it is at all. But the Toledo Bladesmith Division 2, they have Reaper, they have Rambles, Speed, and now they got one of the best, most gifted players in the league, Parrot, coming off the board. Listen, if you like offense, if you like high octane, that is what you are looking at. The Toledo Bladesmiths could be absolutely terrifying with how much offensive pressure they're going to put on their opponents. You better be ready to match speed for speed, because if you're not up there in the air, if you're not quick enough, you are going to get, you're going to fall behind, man. Rambles is building a juggernaut of a unit around himself that just wants to go after people, man. I absolutely love the pick. I love this team that he has assembled. Welcome back, Rambles. So happy to have him back, man. Thank you so much, Rambles, for coming back, giving RLM a shot here, and I hope that you enjoy it, man. I know you were kind of done with Rocket League, but hey, I'm glad, and I know Riley made a great job picking up a stud of a captain. Okay, here's a name. Here's a name right here. Not super duper familiar with this one. I hope I don't butcher this one. Antilophobia coming off the board. Nagasaki Ronins. Okay, Antilophobia. There's Lophobia. I mean, there it is, guys. There he is. I did not see that one too much. It might be one of these situations where maybe he was in some tryouts with a different in-game name. Might have missed this one. Not too familiar. Clearly getting some love in the chat though. Bankai seeing him. But, hey, we'll see what he's able to do. Great pickup there by the Ronin. Clearly they saw something in this guy. Alrighty. Yeah. I mean, I definitely see that, man. I definitely see that. That's crazy, pair. Alrighty, here the Tokyo Drifters back up on the board. Joy, a new franchise owner, gonna have a lot of fun watching what Joy's able to do here now, building a team around himself. This is a guy I did see at a lot of trials. This is a guy who did perform well. This is a dude who's very consistent offensive player throughout each and every game, no matter what roster he put himself around. I thought with how well he played with the tryouts, we wouldn't see him falling to the back half of the second round. We would see him more at the top. Maybe not the top tier because they didn't do anything too unbelievably flashy, but at least the middle pack of round one, maybe bottom half at the very, very least. But hey, we're seeing a good steal in this draft. Goose 3172 coming off the board. Goose 3172 heading over to the Tokyo Drifters. Absolutely love this franchise. Love the logo. Love the colors. Love the FO. Love the pick. It is going to be a great pairing. Looking forward to see what they're able to do here in season number 2. Alrighty, guys, we are getting to the end of this Division 2, and how about a very, very familiar face, man. Absolutely shocked to see the sign up, not gonna lie. He's been in every single server I've been in. He's been in every single league I've been a part of, every league I've owned. This guy has been there as a supporter. At first, I thought he was a complete troll. Got to know the guy. He's actually a genuine dude. He's a funny guy. You just gotta know him to love him. And you're gonna see the Cairo Cobras taking a shot on Natris heading off the board here to the Cairo Cobras. How about that? How about Masters heading off the board? W Natris. Come on, let's get a W Natris. If you know, you know. You gotta know who Natris is. Everybody in RLM who's actually a part of RLM knows who this guy is. He's everywhere. He's always supporting you guys. He's always hyping you guys up in every chat he can. Make sure to show the clown himself some love. Let's get a little clown spam in the chat if we have any sort of thing like that, man. W's to Natris, man. Absolute great pick. Cairo Cobras getting him. If Natris plays, Natris is a beast. If Natris plays, he's a beast. He's always been a good player. He always says he's not a good player. That's why he doesn't play per him. He doesn't have time. There's Surikami. There's the clown emoji. Let me get some clown emoji in the chat here for our guy Natris, man. You know Natris deserves it. He does it for us all the time. He's always showing us the love. Trying to show that man some love. First time I've seen him play in a long time. Absolutely love to get the opportunity to see him playing here in RLM because he usually doesn't have a lot of time for it, man. So shout out, man. Shout out my guy Natris. Oh, alrighty here, guys. Man, Nightbot is just not it today, man. This is why he got kicked out last time. I don't like the way he does things. He just gets too mad at people. Get him out of here. He's so lame. Can't stand that guy. Alrighty here, Boston Braves getting ready to end some people's dreams, man, guys. This is the last pick of the second round. Again, guys, if you did not get picked, do not be upset. Do not be frowned upon. Do not throw a tantrum. Don't leave. It's okay. Listen, this season we allow 4 temporary signings at any time throughout the season. The most temp signs we've ever allowed in a 10-week season. You'll have opportunities to get picked up. You have opportunities to show that you should be on the team for these great franchises. Now, the Boston Braves picking up a fan favorite, in my opinion. One of my favorite people to cast with throughout the season. We're going to see Pac-Man heading out to Boston. The dude, he played for Detroit a little bit. Didn't get the pairing that he wanted. He was with I want to say Pac-Man was in and out with Metros. You know, they were kind of trying to figure things out, but Detroit was just in such shambles at that point. There was just not much that you could really do to help them. There just really wasn't much you could do for Detroit. So Pac-Man was in an awkward spot. But you know what? Pac-Man still showed up. Pac-Man still played. He's one of the smartest people in terms of Rocket League knowledge I've ever met. And having someone like that on your team is a W. It's a huge opportunity. And I absolutely love seeing Pac-Man show up here for the Boston Braves. Boston Braves, W franchise. They had a lot of success last season. D Brown knows how to build teams. He showed consistently. He knows what he's doing. And he's coming out here and getting a beast of a player in Pac-Man. Probably one of the most consistent players you could have picked up, man. Alrighty here, so now we are heading into Division 3. That does end things for Div 2. Div 2 has now come to an end. We're heading over to Division 3 now. Schedules, guys, they will be coming out shortly after. It'll probably be tomorrow, realistically. We're going to get the schedules put together very soon, but we're going to get it released by tomorrow. Remember, guys, 10-week season, 16 franchises. You are not going to be playing every single team. It's okay. We want to still keep the season short. We didn't want to make the season too prolonged, too long, to where people weren't going to enjoy it. We kept it 10 weeks. You're not going to play every single team. It's completely okay. It's one league right now. We're not in multiple conferences. We haven't branched out to that point yet. We might get there next season. Probably could have done it this season, but didn't really want to stress ourselves out. We didn't want to, overtax ourselves. We wanted to handle what we could. It's only season 2. And yes, we made a lot of traction. Yes, we've had a lot of success. But let's just continue to take those baby steps and make this league as great as we possibly can. All right, guys. If you are ready, I am ready as well. Division 3 is now underway. One of our most, I feel like actually it used to always be Division 3 was the most active division, it felt like. But Div 2 really stepped up last season. Div 2 has just been a joy. It has been a joy to watch. It has been such a pleasure. But Div 3, you can't forget about these guys, man. These are some good players, man. These are some high champ level players who love to ball out, man. We got some really good players. We got 7, who's the top player right now. A lot of people are going to be coming after here in Division 3. I'm very interested to see who he pairs up with. I'm very interested to see who gets to be the #1 overall pick as well. It's the Raleigh Raiders going with the #1 overall pick. Let me tell you something. Steal, absolute steal of a pickup here. This was a last-second signing for a captain. It was basically it was Vigil. Vigil had just some IRL stuff going on. He had to drop out of captaincy. Last second sign up here. Raiders make the move. They get a player who I think came from a lot of different leagues. A lot of captains were talking about this guy. Stallify coming off the board. #1 overall pick here in Season 2 of RLM in Division 3. Stallify. Nice little pickup there. Great way to get things started. Alrighty here. All right, now moving on to the second overall pick, Monterey Monarchs, led by the man himself, Ahmed, one of the most successful captains. He's an absolute unit. He's a third man that strikes. He just is so consistent on the offensive end. He's moved up quite a bit in price this season. He's going to have to step up and be that #1 option now. Much more consistent than what he's kind of done in his career. He's kind of always been in that 3rd spot, but now he's got to be that #1 dude. And he has told me he is putting himself next to the guy that he trusts is going to elevate his game and make him better than he's ever played. And he's stealing this guy, man. Nuki, I love the name. Nuki RL coming off the board to the Monarchs. Huge pick right there. The dude's had a lot of success in other leagues. He's very highly talked about. A perfect 2nd overall pick. Easily could have been 1, but we got some W picks starting out. We got Stallify and Nuki going back to back. Doesn't get much better than that. Those are some star-studded players coming off the board. I'm only excited to see what happens now with Division 3 pick 3. And that's the Lafayette Lightning here. I'm almost 90% certain we got Carp coming back. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm very excited to see Carp coming back, and he's going to be pairing himself up with a new face as well. Another player been talked about pretty highly. The Div 3s, these guys went off in the tryouts, man. They did very good. The tryouts were very well ran. And clearly, Carp was able to get a stud. He steals Nexus, gets him top 3, takes him away, doesn't give people the opportunity to take him. Nexus is not going to be at the bottom half of the 2nd rounds. Carp wanted that guy. Carp wanted to pair himself up with Nexus. And he got him. Great pickup there. Alrighty, guys. So here we go now. Heading into the 4th overall pick. Did I butcher that one, Carp? I could have swore you came back to laugh. Or did you go to Morgantown? But maybe that's why I was kind of shocked with that pick right there. Very shocked. I could have swore I saw Carp. No, Carp, you did head over to Morgantown. You did jump ship, didn't you? You did jump ship. I forgot, man. I can't believe it. It's shocked. A lot of you guys moving around so much. It hurts my heart to see it. But, hey, we'll see what you do now with Morgantown. Now, the Midland Manicores, who Greninja did a great job at getting Tamil. He got Tamil coming back. Jando, that's the new guy. Jando, I forgot. Shout out Jando. Jando, I completely apologize for that, man. Jando did get picked up. Juicy did speak very highly of Jando. Jando's a player that he kind of knew for a long time. They kind of reconnected recently. He saw the price of Jando and said, hey, we used to play together. Jando's at like 240. He's almost at a perfect price for a captain right now in Division 3. And he felt like that was the guy to go with, and he did. Now, the Midland Manicores, they got my guy Tamil. Tamil, I put a lot of pressure on Tamil at the beginning of season 1. I had Tamil as my MVP. Did not have the greatest regular season performance, but when playoffs came around, let me tell you something, Tamil absolutely balled out last season. Absolutely loved the way that Tamil was able to play and how he was able to perform. He now gets to pick who he wants to play with this season. He's going with a guy named Steb. Steb coming off the board. Not a guy slotted as a top 5 pick. I wasn't expecting him to go there, but clearly Tamil felt like he needed to get a balanced player around himself, man. So absolute great pick up there, grabbing Steb here to go to the Midland Mandicores, and he is pairing up with arguably the best player in Division 3. I got it slated right now as 7. I know I always put too much pressure. I think I jinx some people sometimes, but you got 7 and Tamil probably going back and forth. Speaking of someone you might want to watch out for, there's my man Brendy in the chat, bro. Watch out for Brendy now. I was watching that guy cooking some tryouts, man. He's got to go somewhere. If Brendy does not go, I'm going to be absolutely shocked. I'm going to absolutely lose my mind. Oh, but here's a guy, the Paris City Swarm, coming in here and getting a guy. Hey, he's spoken some nice words. He's very active in the chats. I saw him in tryouts. He played very well. He was a fun player to watch. He's a fun player to talk to, man. How about Sky Newbie going to the Paris City Swarm? Sky Newbie going top 5. Let's go, Sky Newbie. Huge pick up there. Saw him playing tryouts. He was a great player to watch. That's a W pick right there. Sky is one of those players that a lot of captains did actually speak very highly of. And so just congrats to Sky Newbie coming in here. New season, and he's a new player. And he's a great guy to build a new franchise around down there in Division 3. So, absolute great pick up there by the Paris City Swarm. Paris City is doing a pretty good job building a pretty elite unit across all 3 divs so far. W pick for Sky. Now, here's a player, Toledo Bladesmiths making a move. Riley Mann, one of the top, actually the highest price captain in Division 3, 248. I believe he's at 248. Riley Mann is a defensive menace, and you have to be with the players he's going to be going up against this season. He's going up against some top tier shooters, some top tier juggernaut offensive guys down there in Div 3. Riley, man, he's got to go get him some offensive help, though. He's got to go get a guy that's going to be able to step up and play some offense, and there's nobody I saw do that potentially better than this guy right here, Lussier, going off the board. Great pick right here to help with captaincy, or help with the salary cap that Riley Mann's dealing with, being a top tier player that he is. It's a W pick. It's great for salary. Absolutely great pick. Yes, you are correct, Kyle. I meant he's the top franchise owner right now. Top franchise owner in Div 3. Top franchise owner in Div 3 is that GOAT Riley Mann himself. Riley Redbeard making his return. He was bottom tier Div 2. Now with the new pricing, falls into Div 3 this season, and he's looking like he's going to be an absolute menace. Alrighty, here's another guy here. Hey, listen, just got to know him recently. He's been a great player. He's made a lot of tryouts, and let me tell you something. He obviously made a great impression on Morg and his EU Sentinels, man. Morg is going after a guy who I thought played very well. He's very consistent in tryouts. He's one of the players. He didn't do anything too flashy, but he was always in the right position. His rotations always seemed very crisp. He's very clean. He's a very smart player. Seems like a very high IQ player right now. And that's what Morg is looking to build around himself. He's grabbing Crimson. Crimson coming off the board, heading to the Sentinels. That is a great pick, man. This is a player who I see. I'm definitely happy to see him go here. He was a player who I expected to be kind of a top half first round pick because of how active he's been, how mature he's been, and just how much of a great player he's been to talk to, man. And he backs up his talk with a great game to play with. So great job there by Morg. Just getting a steal. Just got an absolute steal. Alrighty. You want to talk about steals? You want to talk about a great player, man? He's a great player. He's got a goated name. He's a goated snack. The Phoenix Phantom, Scribs. I love the pick up there by Scribs. I've heard a great amount of things from Scribs. This guy right here, he went with, I know he was well known in other leagues. He joined RLM last season. He was a great player to watch. We're looking at Twinkie the God. Twinkie God coming off the board, man. Twinkie was an absolute beast last year. I mean, he came in just an awkward position, man. He joined kind of late. It didn't look like his team was going to be too successful, but Twinkie really found a way to turn things around. I thought Twinkie was going to be a captain. I thought Twinkie was going to be a top tier option for captain, to be quite honest with you. I did not expect him not to end up as a captain, and maybe he just declined it, because, I mean, he had to have declined a captain offer, because I would be shocked if his DMs were not loaded up with offers to become a captain with how good he was. So Scribs and Twinkie, I think, is probably the best pairing I've seen thus far. Obviously, we've seen some top tier players come off the board, but Twinkie and Scribs, that is a great pairing, and I really look forward to see what they can do. I'll work on Nightbot later, guys, see what's going on with him. I know a lot of people wanted him to come back, and now look at him. Now everybody wants him gone. He's annoying. Welcome to Phoenix Phantoms, Twinkie. That a boy. Let's go, Scribs. W pick, man. W pick. All right, guys. I'm gonna take a breath here, because this is where all the hype is. Let me tell you something. When I showed up to tryouts, I specifically went into lobbies to watch this man play. In terms of Div 3, he was the most electrifying player I got to watch. I know he probably wouldn't hype him up too much. There was some consistency issues at times, which is probably why he fell a little bit. But when this man was on, I watched him score 5 goals in one game. I watched him do it against top 5 players. I won't call anyone out, but against top 5 players in the league. And the Tokyo Drifters are not letting this man out of their sight. Somehow he has fallen out of the top 5. I'm talking about Bringy, the Blade, going to the Tokyo Drifters. What do you want to talk about a W pick? Brindy going off the board. The guy was a GOAT, man. I mean, truly, you want to talk about someone who's a standout player in tryouts. It was that guy right there. I'm just shocked, because so many captains got a chance to see this man play, and he fell. He absolutely fell in this draft. But hey, Tokyo's got to be super, super thrilled to have an opportunity to take this guy and get their new franchise started right. You know, Bringy falling down there is just absolutely crazy to me. So, absolutely great pick. Absolute great pick. Alrighty, here after Tokyo, we got the Columbus flight up on the board. This is an interesting player right here. This is a guy who, when I saw him, he actually has someone in the league with a very similar name. I have to wonder if there's some sort of relation, family, brothers, cousins, best friends, father and son. I don't know, but this guy comes in here, man. He thought he was priced too high. I don't think he is. He was a great player from what I saw in tryouts. Clearly, Columbus Flight knew what they were doing. They go ahead and steal Rye and Gav. Rye and Gav going off the board to the Columbus Flight. A lot of question marks around him. Genuinely, a lot of question marks around him. I didn't really get to see him play too much. I haven't heard a lot about him. He was kind of a late sign-up. And Columbus clearly saw the opportunity, and they stole him. I believe this is the Rye that's at 250. There's 2 Ryes. There's another one. I think it's Gav and Rye, and then there's Rye and Gav. I could be wrong, but I want to say there's 2 guys with identical names just about. This one, I believe, this dude right here was the top dude. So, we'll see what he's able to do, man. He's got a lot of pressure on him, man. Columbus Flight, they were a big-time story last season with Oki. Speaking of Oki, man, I mean, now Oki's getting a chance to build himself a team and get himself an opportunity to play with the people he wants to play with. He came in and did an unbelievably huge performance with Columbus. Pulled off one of the biggest, probably the best series I've ever watched play in playoffs. I mean, absolutely. Hey, there we go, Twinkie. There we go. Hey, Twinkie, I like it. Let me find out who said that about you, man, because that's crazy. Twinkie, big chance here in Season 2 to just ball out, man. I mean, definitely a well-deserved first-round pick. All right, guys. Keeping things moving. Okay, here's another guy who kind of signed up a little bit late. Nagasaki Ronin had their eyes on him immediately, though. As soon as he got in, it seemed like they were a match made in heaven. Knuckles wanted to pair like-minded players around him, players that played similar to him, and I don't think he can get a better pick than As a Ghoul right here. As a Ghoul going off the board to Knuckles, Nagasaki Ronin. Absolutely great pickup, man. I don't think I got to see him go to a lot of tryouts. I feel like he just got an opportunity. He kind of landed in the VC with the right person, got a chance to run with Knuckles, and they just played so well together they decided to take a chance at it in Season 2. I love the pick here. I hope it goes well. Knuckles already calling it a sleeper pick. It could be, man. He did show up. He didn't get a chance to play a lot of tryouts, so you might have got a chance to steal someone right there. The price fits well with Nagasaki, and I think it's just an absolute dub of a pick. Now, next up, you do got the Cairo Cobras. This is taking a dude who I go way back with this guy. Used to play a bunch of twos with this man. He's an absolute unit. He was the face of Morgantown last season. And let me tell you something. I put a lot of pressure on him. He stepped up big time in the playoffs for me. They didn't take the chip home like I thought they were going to, but clearly the Cairo Cobras see the opportunity to build themselves a championship contending team around one of the best players in Div 3. If you don't know what I'm talking about, that's my guy Zerko coming off the board, heading to the Cairo Cobras. I love that pick. Ty Rogers obviously had something to say with that, with the captain down there. Say, hey, listen, man, somehow Zerko's sitting here. Don't ask me how, don't ask me why, but he is here. Clearly, he did play in a lot of tryouts. There is a bit of a scheduling thing with Zerko. You got to keep an eye out. How active is Zerko going to be? He's got a lot of stuff going on IRL, a lot of things on his plate. So how active is Zerko going to be able to be is the question. If you get an active Zerko, if you get a Zerko that's able to play, if you get a Zerko that's able to lock in for the season, this is a W pick right here late in the first round. Does not get much better than stealing Zerko right there. Now here's another late sign up here. Plug It the Tugboat out here for his Emerald Armadillos. We're going to see Plug heading back in here for division number 3. You know, interesting pick here. This guy's constantly said, I'm washed. I haven't played. And let me tell you something. Everyone says they're washed. Come on, guys. You all say you're washed. I don't think there's a single person that goes, oh, yeah, no, I'm peaking right now. No, everyone's like, I'm washed. I'm not good. This guy might be a little washed. He has a lot of time to play. He's got a lot of IRL stuff going on. But let me tell you something. When he gets his stuff right, when he gets locked in, he is a great player. Absolutely a lot of fun to watch. I've got to play a lot of Rocket with him. He's actually helped run leagues with me in the past. He is a stud. He's a great guy. Not gonna out him too much. He's just a stud. Love the dude. Zooey, well-deserved pick right here. Amarillo's taking Zooey. Taking Zooey off the board, heading to the Armadillos. W pick right there, seeing Zooey go. Hopefully Zooey takes this as some motivation to get locked in, get things right, get himself back into the peak shape that he used to be in, and get rocking and rolling. I think he's at a great price to do that. I don't think he's too high price. He definitely could be considered lower just based off his stats, but I mean, listen, he's got a chance to get back to what he used to be. 100% has a chance. Okay, here's another guy. Okay, this is a good player. This is a good pickup right here. This is a player who I've seen a lot. I've seen a lot from. I see him a lot in chats. I see a lot of captains talking about him. With how much traction he got with people talking about him, it's a shock to see him fall this low. Maybe he had a specific team he wanted to head towards. Maybe there was a scheduling. I don't know what it is. I don't know why this particular guy fell so low. He's in the chat with us right now. If you don't know what I'm talking about, man, that's Vokes coming off the board, heading to the Vigilantes. You got 10 piece coming out there and just putting together a unit across Div 1, Div 2, Div 3. Vokes, well-known player, man. This is a guy who is coming from a league that everyone knows him. Everyone has seen him do great things. I thought just with the traction Vokes has, I thought Vokes would go a little bit higher. I mean, Vokes should not be falling out of the top 10 like this. I'm shocked to see it. I'm shocked to be saying it. But hey, Vigilante's got to be super excited to hear me saying it, because they're like, hey, we're building ourselves around a top 3, top 5 potential player right now, and they let them slip to us. Absolute fantastic pickup there by Vokes. Now here's a player right here, man. He did join a little bit late. We had a little bit of pricing issues. We weren't sure we were gonna get him out in time, but he made it. We got things right for this guy. He's a player that, actually my man Carp talks very highly about. He says he's one of his boys. So hey, we'll see what he's able to do. Carp said, hey, I want to play with this guy. I think he's going to be a stud. I think he's going to be a difference maker. Help Morgantown continue to get better across all divs. Talking about this man, Titanium. Titanium coming off the board. A little bit of, he was big into Rocket League, playing a lot of games, kind of slowed down a little bit, didn't get a lot in. And then out of nowhere, he started playing again. He's getting his skills back. Carp obviously got him hyped up to come into RLM, of course. And now you're seeing a chance for Carp and Titanium to run things potentially in Div 3. I wish them the best. I hope they do well. I hope Morgantown gets to find a third to pair up with this guy. How's we get a good hydrate? Great hydration call there, pair. Let's get the jug out here real quick, guys, before we get this Div 3 rocking and rolling. Alrighty. Appreciate you. Okay. Boston Braves here. Okay, an interesting name coming off the board. I got you, Ultra. Appreciate you, man. Very, very interesting name. Give me a second here. Guys, you guys almost killed me on stream right there. No doubt. I can't. No more. It's there's too much going on right now. Let's just take a moment out of it. Hey, appreciate you, man. Hey, listen, guys, y'all know we always get dressed up right. We always get dressed up right for the draft. You guys get ready for the draft for me. You guys do some great tryouts. You guys got your teams looking right. The only thing right is I look good for you guys as well, man. I'm just trying to look great for y'all, man. Kyler wants to be hydrated. The hydration, listen, man. All right, let's do it. All right, lock in. I gotta say something about it. We got a lot of stream to go. We got a lot of stream to go left, fellas. We got a lot of stream to go left. I gotta say something for Div 4. I gotta say something. Div 4, man. They need some love too. All right, we're locked in. Come on, guys. Let's get hype. Boston Braves back on the board here in Division 3, getting a chance to get things started right for Season 2. Okay, here we go, Kronks. All right, Kronks. Hey, welcome into RLM. Extremely excited to have you here. Hopefully you enjoy playing here. You're on one of the best franchises. D Brown is one of the best franchise owners we have ever had in RLM. He's a top 3 franchise owner every single season, every single league I've ever been a part of. He knows how to lead teams. He knows how to pair himself up with great players and make his teams great. And Kronks, this owner, has been spoken about very highly. Everyone who said anything about Kronks is just basically said good things about the guy. And you're playing with another dude as an FO that everyone also says great things about. Everyone says great things about that man, D Brown. So I hope they have a beautiful, beautiful pairing out there with the Boston Braves, and I hope they have continued success as they've continued to do so. And I don't think it gets much better than swinging in here and grabbing Clouds to start the second round. How about that? Clouds coming off the board. That's another great pick right there. Looking good. Clouds is a player who can do all kinds of different things, man. He's not a one-trick pony. He can do all he can. He can play some offense. He knows how to facilitate. When I saw him in tryouts, specifically with D-bound tryouts, they seem to play very well together. See, a little bit of a shock there from Kronks, which is interesting in the chat. I wonder what that could be about. But hey, Kronks paired up there with Clouds. That's a W pairing. Those are some good players put together. I do see the late hydrate there from Para. I'll get you a little bit of there. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Listen, guys, I'm hydrated. I'm ready to rock. I'm good now. Unofficial sponsor, Rain. But hey, Rain, if you're interested, let us know. Just kidding. Not interested. Mind games. Alrighty, here we go. Clouds, yeah, dude. Yes, sir. You're heading to the Boston Braves. Congratulations, man. There's a lot of free agents. At the end of the day, there's a lot of free agents this season. Something I'm very excited, just very excited about, man. This is something where it's in a position where, you know, you got to want to be a part of RLM right now. You got to want to be a part of RLM. You got to earn your way onto a team. You got to earn your way onto a team at this point. You got to be active. You got to be locked in because someone is ready. Somebody is ready to take your spot at all times. So be ready for that. Alrighty, here we go. Morgantown Monsters getting the W pick. This is my guy right here. This is a stud of a pick. Falling in the second round. This is about where he should go, right in this spot. But gonna be a difference maker as a third man. A third man that's gonna come in here and be more than just a sit back kind of player. He's gonna be someone who wants to push the tempo, make this one of the top tier offensive teams in the league. Listen, if you don't know who this guy is, you've been living under a rock. I'm talking about, man, Rep Array, playoff rep, baby. When it's time to step up, when it's time to be great, Rep Array is ready to go in the playoffs in the biggest moments. This dude balls out. Absolutely love seeing that pickup, man. Absolutely love seeing that happen. Great landing there for Rep. I mean, Rep's a great player. He's a great dude to have on your team. And right now, from what I'm looking at, Morgantown is shaking things up. Wasn't the best franchise last season. Didn't have a lot of success. But this time, they're coming back with a vengeance, and they are making the right moves. They are putting together some great, great teams. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love to see what they've done. It's not going to be undrafted Rep this time. Playoff Rep is coming back for Season 2. Let's go. Hey, here we go. We got a guy, man. This is a champion. This is a champion right here. How did this name slip my mind? This is a dude I'm expecting to go top 5. How in the world could this be a second round pick? It's rigged. It can't be real. Somehow, Cog is falling to the second round. Unbelievable. Vigilantes stolen. Absolutely stealing Cog right here. This is a champ. This is an Amarillo Armadillo champ. Cog is truly a GOAT. He's one of the first champions in Div 3. He knows how to win. He knows what to do. Listen, You want to talk about stepping up for Div 3? You want to talk about stepping up for playoffs? There is nobody who did that better than Cog last season. All season long. I can't stress enough, all we talked about was physics. And in good regards, physics was a stud last year. Physics put up great stats. But even physics said, listen, guys, I just had a couple good games. That's all. Everyone's like, oh, physics is a smurf, physics is a smurf, physics is a smurf. No, man. He was paired up with one of the most underrated players in the league, and that's Cognitive. Cog was super underrated, and to be honest, he still is underrated. Falling to the second round is criminal. That is the best value pick. You want to talk about a sleeper pick somehow, some way? That's Cog going right there to the Vigilantes late in the second round. Makes absolutely no sense to see that happen, but congratulations to the Vigilantes for getting Cog. You got a guy with championship DNA, championship blood. The dude bleeds winning, and you stole him in the second round. Absolutely great. Now here comes a great pickup here. Someone actually returning to the Armadillos. You might have seen Cog coming here. Amarillo had to have been taking Cog. They had to have taken Cog in this spot. There's no way they weren't going to take him. There's no way they weren't going to take him. They had to have gone for him, but they missed the chance, and instead they go back and they get another familiar face, another champion. That's Ultra. Ultra going back to the Armadillos. Absolutely love it. Love that pickup, man. Ultra, he's a guy. Listen, we talk a lot about Cog. We talked a lot about physics, but you can't forget about that man, Ultra. He was there. He was a glue piece. He was a glue piece for those champions. And Plug knows that. Plug remembers it. Plug knows who the real ones are, man. He knows what he's doing, and he just got it. He got himself a stud right there. Absolute great pickup there, Ultra. No, it is, isn't it? It is. I know there's two Ultras. This isn't my Ultra. This is not my OG. No. I'm sorry. It's the new one with a 1 or an L. Let's look. It's with a 1. It's the new Ultra. Hey, new Ultra. I apologize. That's on me. It is you. It's you, Ultra. Oh. Hey, man, listen. Everything I said, though, about Ultra with an L still reigns true. Dude's a glue piece. Dude's a stud, okay? He was a great player last year. But let's go ahead and reintroduce Amarillo Armadillo's draft pick, Ultra with a 1. Good pickup still. Listen, I haven't got a chance to see the new Ultra play. I haven't. The reason I know of new Ultra is because I was talking about my old Ultra in the same sense, and everyone was telling me, hey, no, there's a new Ultra now. There's 2 of them. There's 2 identical Ultras. But hey, this guy right here, he's more towards the top of the free agency pool. He's an absolute stud. Plugins talk very highly about him. He's clearly fallen in the draft. I didn't see the new Ultra at too many tryouts personally, but clearly Plugin had a lot of confidence in this guy, and he's taking a chance on him. I love the pick. I love it. So I did see it. I did see the mistake I made, guys. What am I going back for, guys? What did I miss? Yeah, wrong Ultra. I do apologize. I know we're on the new Ultra now. I know who it is now. It's Ultra with a 1. Ultra with. All right, guys. Stop playing with my emotions right here, okay? I need to figure out what's really happening. The first Ultra was the right Ultra. That's what I thought. I knew it. I'm sorry, Ultra with a 1, because I do know you're a stud. I've heard it. Outback gives this up. Thank you, man. All the emotions. I'm all over the place right now. But hey, listen. Everything I said, no matter what, it's all true. About all of them. It's all true. We'll figure out who it is in the end. Someone's got to change their name, man. Someone's got to get this right. There's too many Ultras, man. I'm getting confused. This old brain, it can't handle it all. It can't handle it. Stormy, coming in subscribing. Thank you, Stormy. I'm pretty sure that's the Stormy, man. I'm almost confident. I'm getting mixed up with a lot of names right now. There's a lot of new faces, a lot of stuff I'm trying to keep up with. But thank you, Stormy, for subscribing. Greatly appreciate that. Alrighty, guys. Next up here, the Cairo Cobras are back on the clock, looking to continue with the W picks. They're coming out here and picking up Div coming off the board here to the Cairo Cobras. Not a bad pickup at all. Where my hydrate at? I must have missed it, but hey, absolutely great pickup there, Div. Good player, consistent player, someone you know you can count on each and every week to be there and be ready to go. So that is a good pickup there, guys. Alrighty, we are back. We're back. Here we go. It was a double hydrate. Y'all killing me. All right, we'll start with this one. We do need the energy to keep it going. You spent 5K, Outbacks? Don't worry, man. I got you. All right, let's go. Listen, we keep the hydrations. We hold true. We hold true to the hydrations, man. That's crazy, Joy. I ain't doing all that. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. But hey, so we got this locked in, guys. Gotta have a little bit for Div 4. Right now, we are in Div 3 right now, guys. Cairo Cobras just picked up Div, by the way. Heading out to the Cairo Cobras, really looking forward to the rosters. By the way, shout out my man Mux. Shout out Mux. We talked about him earlier, guys. Mux has been working really hard behind the scenes on putting together that roster sheet. It is beautiful. Hopefully you guys like it. It literally incorporates stats and the roster at the same time. So when you see your roster itself, it's almost like you got a little player card now. It's beautiful. It looks great. The coding, well beyond my knowledge and abilities, but the way he put it together, man, is absolutely elite. I can't wait for you guys to see it. I hope it's already released, man, because you guys are going to absolutely love it. I personally love it as well. We also got new overlays coming in. It is beautiful. We got it completely custom made by the LNDR himself, man. He completely put something together for us. It should be absolutely fun, and I hope you guys love it. Alrighty, guys. Listen here, man. Shocker. Let me tell you something. I've been upset a couple times this stream. This is another one of those situations where I am beyond shocked. Somehow, Nagasaki Ronin. Listen, Knuckles said he got the sleepers back to back. He's not wrong. Somehow, the MVP of Division 3 fell to the second round, and Nagasaki comes in and steals. The goated caster himself, breaking coin, coming off. Listen, an MVP season. The dude was one of the best players in the league and became the best player when he won MVP. Now coming out here and getting picked up by the Ronin. Absolute great draft here by Knuckles. He took advantage of what he could, and I absolutely love seeing him take breaking there. Breaking is a stud. He's got the RLM kitty. Hopefully you guys seen the RLM kitty, man. Shout out RLM kitty. That breaking has Dean for us, man. Absolutely love seeing Knuckles take the steal of a pick, dude. Great pick up there. You want to talk about steal of a pick? You want to talk about a person? You want to talk about a player? I personally, Columbus Flight can thank me for that draft pick. I went out and made sure to get this guy. Listen, I've been around for a long time. He's one of my favorite players I've ever got a chance to watch in these lower ranks, you know, compared to some of these top guys. He's a W player. He's a W guy. He's as supportive as it comes. He'll play with anybody, and he will make the people around him better. If you don't know who I'm talking about my guy, Skyline Evo, coming off the board here to the Columbus Flight. Absolute massive W pick. These are some unbelievable steals you guys are catching late in the second round, man. These are some great pickups. Huge pick for my guy, Skyline. Love seeing it. Listen, Skyline, another guy spamming undrafted earlier. Not going to happen tonight. You see Skyline heading to the Columbus Flight. Great pick up there. I absolutely love seeing Skyline go. Completely just changed the franchise. Listen, Skyline hasn't been playing too much. Got IRL stuff going on. Busy with life. We're all busy with life, but Skyline's still getting picked up here. Listen, you get Skyline right, you get Skyline locked back in, you got an MVP player. I mean, you have an MVP caliber player, no doubt about it, no argument whatsoever. You got an MVP caliber guy if you get Skyline locked back into playing some Rocket League, man. Hey, goodness gracious, you guys are getting some fan favorites. Tokyo Drifters coming out here getting one of my guys, dude. Listen, fun story. This guy right here was not on a team. He did a free agent. We did a fun little free agent stream together, and he balled out on it, got picked up on a team, and ran through some playoffs. I'm talking about my dog, C-Jax. Hashtag dad gang. C-Jax, man, an absolute stud, dude. I love that pick. Going to Tokyo. Joy putting together some W1. C-Jax, man, he's a great player. You know, what's the best way to describe C-Jax, man? He steps up in big moments. He'll have a very quiet game. You'll be watching the guy C-Jax play. You wonder where he goes. But then when your team really needs someone the most, when you really need that shot, when you really need that big time save, C-Jax is there. The dude's clutch. He's as clutch as it comes. He's ready to step up in the biggest moments. He does not shy away from it. Absolutely love seeing Tokyo take a chance on C-Jax. I think that's an unbelievable pick. All right, here comes a pick I'm not too familiar with, but Killer Scripps knows what he's doing here. He's got Tragic Upset coming off the board here to pair up with himself. Not a bad pickup. I've heard good things about this guy. Again, I haven't had the privilege of seeing him play, but it doesn't mean that he's not a W pick. This guy has been talked about pretty highly about a couple captains. It's a name that I definitely do remember a lot of people talking about, and I didn't really expect him to be... Now that I think about it, I didn't really expect him to be falling this low. I mean, as much as the other captains were speaking of this guy, and you see Scribs excited as ever to get this guy picked up. A goat from a Nimbus, so your enemy's goat, maybe? I don't know. But, hey, Sweaty's calling him a goat. Sweaty is in tune, man. Sweaty knows who's who. Sweaty knows what's up. That's a good pick. That's a good pick. Oh, here we go. Here's a favorite of mine. Hey, W pick right here again for the Sentinels. We got Bang coming through the chat right there. Bang, listen, man, dude's an absolute shooter. He's a unit. He balled out last season for the Miami Skyline. Sad to see them go, but listen, this guy knows how to put up buckets, man. This is, I thought we were going to see Bang and Ahmed run back. I'm with Nave. Why Bang fell so far, I will not tell you. He hasn't been super active. I will say that. Maybe that's what it is. He's not been super active in chats. I haven't seen him in a single tryout, and there's a lot of new good-looking faces in this league. There's a lot of studs. You got Skanubi. You got Brendy. You got some good-looking dudes coming through here now, ready to ball out this season, and they showed up to tryouts. They looked good. They looked impressive, and they're stealing the show. Bang now gets a chance to come in and remind everybody who he is. Bang is going to come through and say, listen, y'all slept on me, and I understand, but listen, they woke a giant, dude. Bang is a beast. Get Bang locked back in. He's a great player to have. I played some Rocket League with him myself, and he's a joy to play with, man. He is just someone that makes you better. He makes you better as a player. Gotta love to see it. Love it. Wow, okay, all right, you guys are going to have to help me with this one. You're going to have to confirm if this is the physics. I need my guys, I need my OGs to tell me, is this the physics coming off the board? Physics heading to Toledo Bladesmith. Is it the guy? I mean, that's a very common name. Yes, sadly, that's crazy, Ahmed. You're wild, dude. Physics going out there pairing up with Riley, man. Riley is one of the highest FOs playing right now in Div 3, so he felt like he needed to get some cap space love. And there's not a lot of better 215 price players, man. The best 215 price players in my eyes, you got Rhea, you got Sweaty, both still on the board, by the way. Physics going here to Bladesmith. All love to Physics, man. I'm expecting to see Rhea go right here, but clearly maybe Riley felt like he needed some more offense in some sense, so he goes offensive instead. Not a bad pick. If Physics is locked in, ready to play, he's a good player to have. It's just how locked in is Physics? That's the question. Physics doesn't tend to be super locked in throughout the season. He can get a little distracted. He's got a lot of things going on. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. This is an interesting one right here. Paracity Swarm back on the board. They're coming through the guy. He told me what his Discord name is, and I do apologize. He literally just told it to me last night. I'm a terrible owner for not remembering what the actual name's gonna be. But is coming off the board. Bzz, bzz. He's gonna be one of the Paracity Swarm coming in here. Again, I don't remember what the actual name is, but he was a good player. I watched him play in tryouts. I got a chance to hang out with some of the guys during some tryouts, and we had up some like Sports Center type stuff going on. We had like 4 games going on 4 different screens. One of the coolest things I've ever seen, getting to watch these guys ball out and play. Obviously made great impressions on the Paracity Swarm. They decided to take him here in the 2nd round. Not a bad pick whatsoever. Taken in the draft. I love the spams, guys. Let's go. Here's another player who actually played really well last season. Big time slow start for this guy, but he was very consistent throughout. And when it was time to step up towards the back half, he had a great back half of the season. And Midland Manacores decided to take a chance on him here starting early, and that's Hiccup. I think he sometimes pronounces it different, but I always call him Hiccup. Hiccup just kind of makes sense to me. It's what I've always said. It rolls off the tongue, and he's going to play with Greninja's Div 3 Midland Manacores. W pick right there. Not a bad pick at all. Kind of a sleeper pick in a sense. Not a lot of traction behind the name. I didn't really see Hiccup in too many tryouts. At least they're the ones that I attend. But I like Hiccup going there. Now, you want to talk about a W pick right here, a potential steal of the draft. A player who knows how to complement high tier players. That's the best way I can put it. He knows how to complement the GOATs around him, and that's Sweaty, dude. Sweaty has always been on winning teams. He always finds a way to end up on a team that is successful. So that's a great way to look at it. Lafayette Lightning are on track to be successful. I have not seen Sweaty on a bad team ever. Sweaty has always seemed to be on a winning team because he has just done a great job being that low-price player that can complement in any way you need him to, whether that's offensively, whether that's defensively, whether that's passing, facilitating. He's just consistent. Doesn't try to do too much. He's a great player. He's a good teammate. It's a W pick getting Sweaty right there. He does leave the free agent team, and now he leaves my guy Rhea there. But W pick going out there with Jando. Alrighty, here next up, the Monterey Monarchs are up, ready to go. Monterey Monarchs taking a familiar face. Guy played last year, Sparky, number 7, heading off the board. Not a bad pick at all. A little bit of a steal heading into the back round here. Another one of those third type players who's ready to lock down the net, play some defense. And Monarchs felt like they needed that. They felt like they needed some defensive support, so they go out there and get that guy Sparky. Oh, here we go. This is a guy you expect to go a little bit higher than this, truly, with just how much, just how many people were talking about him. He came in at a good time. He was at some tryouts. A lot of captains looking at him. I thought the Raiders was a good landing spot for him. I expected him to go here. I just didn't expect it to be this late. I thought it was going to be more of in the first round, so I was kind of shocked not to see him. But we're coming out here. We're going to see, and I'm sorry if I butcher the first time I get to say it out loud. It's Suriakami coming off the board to the Raleigh Raiders. Raiders, a new franchise, getting a new player coming out here in Division 3. Huge pick up there by the Raiders. Could be an MVP caliber player. I definitely agree with my guy Nave there. That's what it was. A lot of the talk was about this guy, man. I mean, he was going to be one of those top tier players in this league, and falling to the very last pick, Mr. Irrelevant. A GOAT caliber player going dead last. That's crazy. Sleeper pick, steal of the, potentially might be looking back as the steal of the draft for the Raiders. Absolute great pick up there for those guys. Hey, don't say that and say no, man. Listen, it's a long season. A lot of things can happen. Stay active, stay ready, stay locked in. Stay locked in, guys. That's all I can say. A lot of things happen throughout the season. A lot of players drop. A lot of players get busy. A lot of players can't play anymore. And then you can step in and play. There's four temp signs allowed per team. There's a lot of temp signs that are going to be available to these captains to use and take advantage of. A lot will be used, especially without the sub. So if you come in there and you play well, you can definitely see yourself getting picked up at some point. Alrighty, guys, we are heading in now to Division 4, our last division of the night before we wrap things up. Hopefully you guys are as excited as I am. This is a new division. Didn't have as much traction as we thought, though, guys. Div 4, y'all gotta step up for me, man. Y'all want this division. You screamed for it. You wanted it so bad. I need you guys getting your friends in. I need you guys getting if you're just playing a ranked game, invite the people you're playing with. Make some friends. Get them in the league. If you want Div 4 to stay relevant, we gotta get some more traction in there. Div 4, shockingly enough, is the only team that we could not fill out franchises for. We only got 8 franchises. Only 8. So this will be a quick round. But here we go, guys. We are heading in. We're starting out with a W pick. Dubs and Nugs coming off the board. That's an OG name. The guy's been around a long time. He's a player I've seen in many leagues. He's a great player. He's going to make a lot of success there with the Boston Braves. Dubs and Nugs is the very first pick for Division 4 for the Boston Braves. Next up here, a player who I've actually played with myself in the past. Is one of the longest people I've known, and I'm very happy to see him playing. Second overall pick is fair for To Be Fair. To Be Fair heading to the Cairo Cobras, coming off the board, getting To Be Fair. to be fair, has always felt like in past, leagues, he's always been priced too high. He's always been put in like awkward positions. Now here in Div 4, he gets the chance to be one of the top players in the league. Gets a chance to showcase what he actually can do. So shout out to be fair, man. He gets to be the face of the franchise down there in Div 4. Alrighty, here next up, the Amarillo Armadillos at number 3, coming in here in Division 4, taking Crud off the board. Amarillo getting a chance. They got one of the best captains, I think, in the league right now. They should be a definitely huge team to watch. So shout out Amarillo taking on Crud. Crud is going to be a difference maker here for that franchise down there in Div 4. Alrighty, guys, heading out here for the Columbus Flight. Another player here. He actually played in Div 3, and he actually did pretty good last season. He had a lot of success. He was a player I felt like was really slept on for third man of the year. I thought he would rock out at third man, and he was also a high sub of the year candidate. Now down here in Div 4, he gets to be a top die, and that's Vixay coming off the board to the Columbus Flight. Columbus Flight landing Vixay here. Great pickup. Probably should have been a top 2 pick. Probably should have went top 3, but top half of the draft is not bad at all. Next up here, you get to see a guy actually I've seen be caster before, and he's done a pretty good job. He's been on our casting team. He's a good player. He's an active player. He's a guy you can rely on. I'm talking about Cyber, heading to the Midland Manticores to play with Greninja, the FO himself, pairing up with Cyber. Best captain in Div 4 is crazy. Come on, Parrish. Show yourself some love, man. You definitely are a great captain. Alrighty, next up, the Nagasaki Ronin are going to be heading out and taking on Grozy. Okay, Grozy. I do remember seeing his application. A little bit of a late signing. Not someone that I really heard too much about, but I do know that we did see Knuckles talk pretty highly about him during some of the tryouts. So shout out Grozy, coming 5th overall. Alrighty, next up, the Toledo Bladesmith taking Levi Corum. Levi Corum going off the board to the Toledo Bladesmith here. Again, I didn't really get to see a lot of Div 4 tryouts, so I didn't get a chance to familiarize myself with a lot of the Div 4 players. But this is our development league down here, guys, so y'all make sure to get better. Get up to Div 3, keep grinding, try to progress. The goal is to get out of Div 4, go compete for some prize pool, go compete to get yourself on stream. Alrighty, here next up, the Morgantown Monsters are on the board, and they're going to take Hazy Powers, a player who a lot of people know. He's been playing in a lot of these leagues, man. He's made a lot of progression from a sub-caliber player to now a starter out here in Division 4. Not a bad pick at all for him. For the Morgantown Monsters, Buzz Nutley gets a chance to pair himself up with someone who's probably going to be one of the more dangerous offensive players, I would imagine, out there in Div 4. He's a great twos player. He's had a lot of success, and I think Buzz Nutley is elated to land him and then pair him up with Thon. Thon being the 3rd player. Buzz, Hazy, and Thon could be a nasty little duo down there in Division 4. Should be a lot of fun to watch. Now, after Thon here for Morgantown, you see Toledo turn back around. They're going to take Tornos. Tornos, 22, coming off the board here in Division 4. Not a bad selection whatsoever. Now, the Nagasaki Ronin, they get a chance to take up Min Rooster, another player, again. Not got a chance to see him play too much, but now with an opportunity to show everybody what he's able to do. You got to remember, the biggest thing about these Div 4 players, man, the most important thing about these guys is they are players with an opportunity to sub up and help out their Div 3 team. Any Div 4 player can be subbed up at any time to any Div 3 team. So if the Morgantown Monsters want to use Min Rooster, if the Morgantown Div 3 want to sub up Min Rooster, they can. They can do it at any point as long as Min Rooster accepts it. Now Frosty Alpha coming off the board here to the Midland Manticores. Getting to play with one of the better FOs you can possibly play with. Greninja's got to be feeling hype, man. He's been able to get all the players he wants. Been able to get exactly where he wants to be. Now the Columbus Flight taking a fan favorite of mine. The man coming off the board here. W pick. Man, he's a young guy with great mechanics. He is going to be a dangerous offensive juggernaut down there at Div 4. Hopefully with a chance to get better. Alrighty here. Now we got a chance here for Big Unk to play for the Amarillo Armadillos. Amarillo Armadillos taking up Big Unk. Again, not a player I got a chance to see. That I missed a lot of the Div 4 tryouts, but Big Unk heading out there to Amarillo, clearly something that they were able to see. Alrighty here, now Cairo Cobras rotating back around. They get an opportunity here to take Darth Nefarious. Darth Nefarious. I believe he also goes by Darth Shogun. Or I think there might be two of identical. But Darth Nefarious coming off the board. If I get it to pop up here for a second for y'all. Now Darth Shogun's more of one that I'm a little bit more familiar with. I actually got to see, I've actually talked quite a bit with Darth Shogun. Darth Shogun is a player who's actually seemed like he got his name a little bit more out there for everything. So anyways, it was just a great pickup there. Darth Nefarious coming off the board. Cannot seem to get it to head back for us. But Darth Nefarious coming off the board. And then to round it out, the Boston Braves do take Darth Shogun. Darth Shogun coming off the board there to round things out. Actually, I got it back up just for Darth, man. Just for my man Darth Shogun headed to the Boston Braves. Going to represent D Brown's franchise. And I think they're going to do pretty gosh darn well down there in Div 4. Alrighty, guys. That does finish the draft, though, officially. With the final pick being Darth Shogun in Division 4. Not bad way at all to end it. Darth Shogun, great player. He should be a lot of fun to play alongside. And hopefully he has a lot of success out there with the Boston Braves. Boston Braves seem like they ended their draft pretty well. They seem to have a pretty good team across Div 1, Div 2, and Div 3. But guys, that is going to do it. Again, for everybody asking, we will have the schedule released this weekend. The first week of the season will start on Monday. So y'all be ready. Y'all be excited. It should be an absolute fantastic season this year. I'm super excited about all the new faces. A lot of the OGs have returned as well. So we have a great mix of our OGs with some elite new guys coming in. It should be an absolute blast this season. I appreciate all my captains and my franchise owners stepping up big time here and just helping this league get started right for season 2. Appreciate all the guys working on the sheets and stats. Got to shout out our GFX team as well. Shout out Nave, shout out Juice. Those guys did an absolute great job getting these logos put together and getting this stream looking right. I hope you guys are as excited as I am for this season to start. We got some new overlays as well coming to you all, which should be a great new look. It should make us look a lot more professional. It should be a lot more joy to be on stream. And of course, I do want to say that I appreciate all the casters coming in there. We had a lot of help from Breaking Coin last season. He was an absolute stud, and Pac-Man as well. If anybody out there is interested in being a caster or joining the streaming team, please send me a DM. Again, I'm A67 Camaro. If you would like to send me a DM because you're interested at all, we are always looking to grow that team at any point and give people opportunity to get their name out there, get their face out there, and start streaming and casting. So I really appreciate everything, guys. It was a fantastic stream, like always. I appreciate everyone coming out here and showing some support, showing some love to your fellow RLM teammates and fellow RLM community members. If you have not joined the Discord and you are interested, there is a link in the bio. You can go ahead and get down in there and get that link. Guys, I will be posting the YouTube channel here shortly. We're going to be using that YouTube channel quite a bit to post these old VODs, man, so that way they don't just disappear forever. We're going to be posting the VODs to the YouTube channel. It's just RL Majors. Y'all make sure to check out the YouTube as well. The link is not working. Don't worry, guys. I'll get that updated and fixed. It was just working on Thursday, too. I don't understand what could be happening, man. Nightbot is just driving us crazy. Maybe we got to move on to a new bot. If y'all got any recommendations, I'm sure we can look at a new bot at some point. Because Nightbot, it just does not seem to be the right move. But I appreciate you guys very much. Roster sheet should be released tonight for you guys. And also, if you have any questions, just don't hesitate to use the hashtag create a ticket. Our mods have been on point with everything and seem to be on top of making sure those questions are answered in a timely manner. So shout out our mods for being so great so far. But I'm very much looking forward to a very elite season. Should be a lot of fun. Should be a great one. I'm going to be ending it tonight, guys. It was a long stream, and I appreciate you guys being out here with me for as long as y'all have been. I hope y'all have a wonderful rest of your night. I will see you guys later this week. I love you guys. I'm out of here. Peace.